coming off from a pretty great direct featuring a talking Ryan Reynolds. Hey everyone, this is Micoy. Welcome back to another episode of the BLT podcast. I am joined by the Ryan Reynolds to my elephant Mario.
Why am I being called Ryan Reynolds here? Anyway, hey, it's PokeAir 2004 again.
And today we have a new special guest this week. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rash, from the Phantom Troop.
Dang it, so Pap was
Yeah,
right, Pokeart. It is called Rash.
yeah, you guys have been mispronouncing it Rasche for quite a while, but
I'm
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
didn't
just
feel like correcting
used to calling you Rashe because I think it sounds nicer, to be honest. But that's
it.
just
it
me.
does sound nicer. Rash sounds like the word rash.
Which is
I
a hor-
mean,
which is a horrible syllogism that most people don't want to get.
yeah, like Rash, Rasha, Rashe, it's like cool, fine.
Anyway, last time we covered week 5 recap and week 6 predictions. Today, week 6 is done, and week 7 has dropped a couple of days ago and is already getting underway. But we're gonna cover last week's recap just to keep consistency. And this week 6 for me personally, I found it kind of the hardest week to get notes of watching these games because some of the plays made in this game can be a little bit one-sided, while others just bore me the hell out. So yeah, not kind of a good at watching experience for me.
Ooh.
But but
I mean,
they all
I enjoyed watching my own team's games, but I
yeah.
mean,
We,
bias and all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, from as a player, cheering for your teammates is awesome. But like as an outsider without any team participation or bias or anything like that, like yeah, no, it's kind of like meh. It's kind of a meh week, and that's saying something considering the last 5 weeks have had games which were great. This one, I really couldn't find any match of the year candidates or anything like that.
yeah. I
That
feel like the hype of the last week being like the home update has kind of like wore off now. So
That's true. Also, this
there's
this
that.
being like a pretty crucial week also counts as something. So let's get to reviewing games, shall we? First off, oh boy, Pokeheart, what happened to the Iron Bundles? You lost 3-7 to the Dirges.
Well, I blame Yoko. He predicted us to win.
We all blame Yoko. He has become the meme that every time he predicts for something, it ends up being the wrong thing. Yoko is the eternal jinx man in this BLT. Anyway, first game of the series goes to Balor versus Chaitanya, which Balor won in a pretty dominant fashion, I would say, because Chait, I feel like this game, Chait wasn't really playing his best. That's what I kind of noticed because looking at the teams, like you'd think that Shade has a pretty good matchup against most of Balor's Mons, but like in terms of the game itself, Shade just kind of threw every Mon and hoping that would stick. Basically, like I threw this Mon here to try
It's
to get
not
some
like
EQ.
it's not like Jay wanted to throw Heatran away or anything,
Oh no, not particularly Hatred, but like the Enamorous
but
can
he
be
was forced to because the thing got crit.
which is kind of
And the
like
Lord complained about the game.
yeah, there was a flame body hit which worked in Jade's favor, but otherwise it didn't really take advantage of that, and just threw
Yeah, that
everything.
Heatran was a little needed, I think.
Yes, very much so.
The
Considering
Heatran seemed important.
considering you had Enamorous, you had King Gambit, and you had Cyril there, you really needed that Heatran first and foremost. But like, yeah, the game was very hyper offensive, very short by OU standards, and yeah, it was just Balor kind of dominating and playing a pretty easy game, while Shade is kind of through everything.
Are you not gonna talk about the King Gambit?
All right, you elaborate on the King Gambit. I don't really have not much notes on the
Why
King
why
Gambit.
do why do I gotta elaborate on the King Gambit? You saw it. You saw the King Gambit.
I did, but
What?
I
Why
mean, it
can't?
was unlucky, I guess, but like that's where you run Flame Body for like the 30% chance of just instantly winning the game.
true. But like, did that even matter considering the end game we saw Dragapult? No, not Dragapult. Zamazenta doing all the damage against Dragapult or anything like that.
Oh yeah, that was another thing. The Zamazenta just kept crunching. I was a little confused as to why it kept crunching. I guess it worked out, but bit odd.
It's a defense drop.
Oh yeah, I mean, I suppose they're trying to get into like a damage range,
Yeah,
but you know, it could have
yeah,
definitely went
I
south.
agree. That's probably either a damage range or they wants the defense drop. Both are.
Uh,
It also helps the fact that Balor is like Crunch is viable against the remaining two-thirds of Chate's mons. So yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, yeah.
I can't.
Anyway, yeah. Pretty like hyper offensive, very short, but nothing too spectacular. Next up,
What?
SVOU.
You're not gonna talk about how the King Gambit almost reverse swept? That's what
No,
I was trying to egg you on about.
I we all knew Balor would win. He had Ferdinand Zamazenta near the end.
The King Gambit killed the Zama. Wait, did it? Or
Yeah,
yes, it did. It killed the Zamazenta, Micoy.
But Balor had more mons, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It didn't really matter in the end.
It literally came down to King Gambit versus King Gambit, Micoy.
Eh. But King Gambit was too neutered, I think, towards the end.
Well,
Oh,
I mean, like
it,
opposing King Gambit was like had just enough health to like always live like a sucker punch. So, like, I mean, I guess they're just like in Monza, so I guess they could always kill with Ironhead. But I mean, you know, it is Terra Fairy, so
yeah.
Ironhead was super effective. 5 down, like even if you're burnt, that should still like secure victory. But a crit probably could have won the match though.
It
Which is
could have.
impressive that he got it all the way down to being a crit to win.
Yeah, it all basically came down to a crit. Yeah. Now watching the last
had
two
we
games,
had we gotten the King Gambit any lower,
Che
the
would have won.
game was ours. Ironically,
Yeah, Che would have won that, but yeah, nothing really too much. Again, nothing really too spectacular. Nice to have a King Gambit versus King Gambit end though.
yeah, in such a swell tier.
All right, next up, SVOU, My Java versus Kebab. Okay, this game was pretty good compared to the last one. Enamorous actually O-code Goldango at the beginning of this game, kind of crippling My Java in the long run, as he kind of needed that. He really needed a sweeper to like take care of, ironically, the Goldango and Dragapult or anything, or even the Cleavor. It was
Yeah, losing the Goldango was rough for him.
mm. My job as Enamorous being sub Terra Ground, well, substitute and Terra Ground was a pretty interesting set. I wish it was used more frequently though against Kebab, as it could have been a real threat. Like would have killed the King Gambit, it would give Slow King, it would give Cleavor a run for its money. was pretty interesting to
Oh yeah, for
see.
sure.
So it was pretty interesting to see that. But in the end, Kebab Zamazenta swept the end game using a semi-unique set. I want to call it. It's like it's Terra Fire and the, but it's also Iron Defense Body Press with Substitute.
Yeah, I think that's probably for like infiltrator with a wisp. Like you can prevent yourself from getting burned by that, but I can't think of what you'd want Terrifier for over like Terra Steel
I guess it's to
or like
prevent
anything
like
else.
Will-O-Wisp.
Yeah, has to
Yeah,
be.
it's almost certainly to prevent will-o-wisp.
Or yeah, but
Like, even if it's not for infiltrator will-o-wisp, like, if you think your opponent's about to will-o-wisp, and they do, but you Terrafire, it won't work, and you can sub for free or something. Or you
yeah,
can just kill it outright.
Yeah, I
that's
guess if you're in a position where you just can't sub, and it's like a kind of 50-50 of will they will OS, you can just get rid of 50-50, just Terrifier, and not
yeah.
have to sub.
Yeah, and
Yep.
oh, yeah, and even though you're kind of weak to later the Great Tusk and the Tinglu later for because they have Earthquake, um, Zamazenta was still able to
It's
make
too
a good effort.
fast.
Yeah,
It's
the
too
thing is,
fast and too
Yeah, too
bulky.
fast, too strong.
it's pretty fast, pretty strong, and yeah, and it was able to kill them with relative ease.
Yep. Absolutely swept.
Next up, SV Ubers, we got Fogbound Lake versus Lassen. Okay, we got to talk about this matchup.
Do we really? I don't wanna.
We have to because look at this. Lesson brought a rain team. I want to say rain, electric type
Yeah.
rain, and but Fogbound Leg just has the overwhelming matchup here. Groudon, along with some stall mons like Giratina and Gossifix. Hmm? What were you gonna say there, Rasche?
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh,
I mean, I do think it's interesting to see like Toxapex do so well here in this matchup because I mean, there's no grounded poison. So I mean, like, I don't know if it was like the key player in this match, but yeah, Fogpound like definitely had like a really good matchup versus this like kind of pseudo rain team.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Lassen did say, like, before playing, that this is what he was going to bring, that it performed well, but if he runs into some sort of weird Sun team,
Oh,
he loses on preview, and well,
the
Yeah, I
weird
mean, I think
sun
it's
team
Toxapex as
actually
well,
was
especially with
brought.
the water spout. Like really, yeah, and
yes,
Koraidon had
a
such a good matchup.
yeah, the Coridon plus the Groudon. Yeah, he brought two Sunsetters. So he really did bring a bit of a weird Sun team, which Lassen said he just loses to.
Well, he could have used the Zacian better because it had Trailblaze, which actually is a pretty interesting, unique bring because you would want to outspeed things like Koraidon or the other Zacian. Um, but
Micoy, a lot of Coridons are like Scarf, so I don't know if
but
that would have outsped.
well, against other Zacian, he probably will. It most likely will.
Not no, that would just be a speed tie.
Where with Trailblaze?
Oh, you meant with Trailblaze. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Had it been more effectively used, this Trailblaze would have absolutely done wonders for Layson. Also, Bokeart and I were kind of debating whether or not the Arceus ground would be healthy enough to sweep the rest of Fogbound's mons because it getting toxic. You would think that it would be done enough to get the toxic out so that it could resist it and sweep, but I just didn't think Arceus ground would live the poison enough to actually reverse sweep Fogbound Lake.
It lifted enough. I'm pretty sure. Let's see. It was at 52. Now let's see how much damage it would take in the next 3 or 4
We'll
turns.
start at turn 26, because that's where Koraidon first did damage to Arcus ground.
Okay, it's at 52%. The next damage it takes is 12%, I guess.
Because it took the Dragon Claw, Koraidon lived on
Yeah, it
fully, and
takes Yeah, it takes 12%. So at 52, it then takes 12%, then it takes 18%, and it takes 24%. Do I have that right?
yes, it's always +6. And then
Okay, so that's
3 or 4 turns at best. It doesn't have recover. I
oh,
don't think it has recover.
well, I think it did have recover.
If he had used that, he would have if he had used that, instead of going for the E speed on turn 27, I think it would have been beneficial to just recover, because it would still live 2 hits from Koraidon, so it was able to take some more hits from the rest of the Mons here. However, in the
I'm
end,
pretty sure that was a Scarf Koraidon Micoy.
that's
So E
if
speed was
if that was the case,
probably
then
the best
yeah,
choice.
yeah, he had no other options after that. If that was the case, he had no other options, and it was bound to happen to let it die to poison anyway. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It does look like it would have actually died to poison, but it had recover, I'm pretty sure. So
So
yeah, there was definitely a chance had he speed killed.
in the end, just didn't happen. All right, next up, TMM. You're gonna be an expert at this. Drew versus TMM. How did you feel about this UU game?
Oh yeah, so I got to like watch this one live. I think before this, Drew was undefeated.
Yes.
He was
Yeah, yeah. So like this was like I remember like TMM mentioning like this was like a big deal for him because he wanted to like knock Drew down from being like 5-0.
Hmm.
And yeah, like if I remember like the end game at least, like Slowbro really went crazy. Like I mean, it wasn't even like an like offensive Slowbro. It's just that like iron defense. Like why got once it got set up, like there's no taking it down.
Hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, Slubber was very much, mostly well kept for this game. Just tanking the Dracos from the Noivern, almost, almost was able to kill Alamamola had it not Terra Fairy.
Yeah.
So Team M did play a little bit more solidly. Wochen was able to stand up to Tyranitar and tank its Dragon Dance and boosted Stone Edge as well, killing it with Giga Drain. Even Giga Drain
Yeah, although there were Stone Edge misses.
There were some Stone Edge misses, but
I,
mostly I think Wochen just able to tank. I would think Wochen would be able to tank that well.
No, it definitely was in kill range at points.
Really?
I mean, it definitely was in kill range, but you know, it's Stone Miss. Like it's Stone Edge. Like you're not gonna ever be able to like hit like all of them successively. So, you know, when you consider it like that, TMM was actually correct just to stay in and
Yes.
go for the
Yeah.
miss.
I agree. I agree. TMM definitely played this a little bit more well balanced against Drew's entire team. And Drew didn't play awful. Drew actually like had some moments of brilliance in this game as well. It was a very well played game from both sides. TMM did
Oh
have the
yeah,
more
for sure.
solid team at the end, and ultimately, yeah, it was it was a worthwhile game. This was one of the few games where I'm actually like, yeah, this is a testament to both players' UU skill for the rest of this BLT. So good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, and TMM wants to continue winning even though our team's basically out. So watch out,
Oh yeah, I've
Rasche.
beaten this week. Yeah.
Rash.
Well,
I don't think I can actually bring myself to pronounce it correctly. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
sorry. Yeah, sorry. We're gonna keep calling you Rashe from now until the end of time. All right, next up. Oh boy. Oh god. We're gonna talk about this game. Are we seriously gonna talk about this game? Tear Acid versus
That's
Arsenal.
my line.
Remember what I said last week with this being a level 1 player versus a level 100 player? Well, the level 1 player tended to be Arsenal because what the hell?
Man,
Well,
it's calling Arsenal a level 1 player. This is just slander.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for this week, but the Franklin R9, like really, he's not been having the best go at like RU right now, at
He
least.
keeps getting MU'd. It's not totally his
Yeah, I
fault.
mean, yeah,
he got
like
MJ'd
the
and now he got
matchup
tear
bad,
acided.
and yeah, I think it was just like some funky sets, like some funky just setup sets that really caught him off guard, I guess. Like
True.
especially with like the rest talk Grim style, like
Yeah, Terra
everything
Ghost,
else.
Rest
Yeah,
Talk, Grim Snarl. He had next to nothing for that.
Yeah.
and like, I mean, our Courier just in general is like a matchup fish. So
Mm,
Exactly.
it
He
was
keeps
exactly
yeah,
what
so
getting
if you
MU
think about it, he
fish.
actually played it perfectly, and there's nothing there's nothing good at them better.
Oh well, it's fine. Yeah, the Grim
Yeah,
Snarl, as we've pointed it out, like Terror Ghost, Rest Talk, Bulk Up, and Spirit Break, was able to kill Gardevoir, and then tanking Crocodile's Gunk Shot well enough to rest. And then, yeah, the remaining part of this game, Oricorio just came in, swept Arsenine, tanking Rotom's Discharge of all things. Defeating Altaria, just tanking the Bronzong's Heavy Slams, basically giving Tear Acid the W. So,
Yeah.
unfortunate. Speaking of unfortunate, Pokeart versus Togki is next up.
Oh, yeah. Right. My
Now,
game.
you elaborate on this game because I can't do this match justice.
So, like, he kept his Anaconda pretty safe. Never let me knock it off, despite me catching it a ton whenever it switched in. Like, basically, I knew whenever he was gonna switch it in, I'm like, gotta get the Bombardier in at the same time. Come on, give me your item. Let me win. Let me 2-hit KO your Sanda. No, he very much knew that was what I was. That was very much my my win path. So obviously, he never gave me the chance to do it. Also, um, I sort of pulled an early oopsie by allowing my Sandaconda to get tricked.
Mm-hmm.
My Terra Dragon Coil Sandaconda, which I think had a good matchup otherwise. I think I think had I not let it get trick, which honestly it's always a little hard to play around the trick because like either they do it and you send something in that's also choice and it gets the scarf and like woo no harm, or it doesn't actually end up tricking and you just accidentally get one of your mons needlessly hurt or crippled.
And yeah, that was basically that was one of the turning points and that ended up losing you the momentum. But what really killed it for me was the Appleton. It missing Leech Seed at the first part when it was Will-O-Wisp, like right here, turn 19. Um, when it missed the Leech Seed, I figured the feeling that yeah, I think the momentum is definitely lost on Pokeart's side, along with Sandaconda being tricked, I feel like, okay, how is she gonna pull this off? How is she gonna be? How do you pull this off when you're up against, a pretty dangerous Pyroar, first of all, and a Braviary who kept tanking hits?
Yeah, the Terra Ground on Braviary didn't help. I
Oh yeah,
admittedly
didn't
should have
help you with that
seen that
role.
coming.
Mm,
I played a I know the Terras of this tier, so I definitely should have seen that coming. But like it's immune to Shadow Ball normally, so like it's a 50-50 there, really.
it is. It is.
I
It is
guess
a
the
50
play
fifty.
was to Will-O-Wisp though.
Yeah. Um. But yeah, overall, the game wasn't horrible. Like, you did the best you could, but ultimately Togi just had the natural bulk, ability to heal and whittle down most of your team, and ultimately take the W.
Um also I don't know if it would have mattered, but he did crit kill the Appleton when I was going to recover.
Hmm. I don't know.
See, it did 25 the previous turn. Hyper Voice was used. Then it did 20. Then it crit killed at 27. So I'm not sure if that roll mattered. It might have. That was a max special defense, max HP Appleton. It might have mattered. It might have not. But it sucked.
It sucked.
Yeah, I mean when you're already like in the back, getting hacks like that like really doesn't help. Like
Just adding
Yeah,
instant
that's
hit and
unfortunately
barrier
just been all my BLT games this year and last year.
the year before. Probably, maybe.
Well, I don't know about that. No, I actually won games in the year before.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Next up, Tlenet versus Ryuji in PU. Very short game, but very even game, I would say.
Um, let me look at this. Oh yeah,
I would say this was a pretty even game considering the
this
games they
game.
brought. But, uh, you know, again, Ryuji again falling off after the pretty high highs of the first couple of weeks, and then right now, since your team is on the cusp of not making it into playoffs, this game was a pretty big deal for him, and ultimately he just couldn't play around T Lennet very well. He nearly got the win with Miss Drevis, only he was nuzzled and potentially more crippled than he ever was.
Honestly, I'm sad for Ryuji. Uh, he showed a fair amount of promise at the beginning. Let's see. What's his record now?
I think neutral. I think.
No, he's not neutral. He's hard negative.
Yikes. Ah, I feel bad for Ryuji.
oh, is he like
Well,
played every week?
let's see.
I think he has. I think he has played every week.
Universal Dial, Lost versus Tenebrasite.
Yeah, I guess you
That.
have to deal with like tier shifts as well, which always like throws people off.
He went 2-5 overall.
Yikes.
Rip.
Yikes. But yeah, this game.
Yeah, just not his matter.
Yeah, this game is a pretty short, evenly split between both sides. Rock just kind of went ham with Stone Edge, with a pretty consistent move around this game, and ultimately picked up the win. Tailing it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we had a shot. I thought at first we had a shot at reverse sweeping with Zangoose because that thing's an absolute beast when it gets going.
Mm-hmm.
But I think either our Zangoose was adamant and slower than the Lycanroc, or that Lycanroc was scarfed.
It was probably Scarf.
I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah, I mean, to see
speeds
how
or
T Leonard brought it in, probably Scarf. Like, unless you just really wanted to bank on you being adamant, which
Mm.
yeah, I have no idea, frankly.
But
I
yeah,
don't recall what it was he brought.
yeah, the good win for TLN. That's all we can say. Next up, Greedy versus Skelly. This LC game was interesting. Mudbray started off strong, chipping Marina huge at the start and killing Cabrawler. And then Marini just kind of came back after that, recovering and terra ghosting to kill Grimer Alola, and then tanking hits from Cabrawler pretty nicely. I mean, Greedy
It
Cabrawler.
was not a best. That was not the best play.
You don't think so?
Letting the Grimer die, not
Yeah,
good.
yeah. If that Grimer was kept very well, especially towards the end game when he sorely needed it against this thing, this ball of death right there, Voltorb Isui, and Drifloon to some extent, he would have absolutely won, Skelly.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was not one of Skelly's best performances.
And you know again, Voltorb Isui becoming a steadily one of the best mons in LC by far. Static and Grookey just generally having a better matchup against most of Skelly's mons near the end. It just was a very solid end game and a very solid win con for Greedy, ultimately picking up the win.
yeah, like he played on getting that. I mean, I'm not sure why they sacked Grimer at all, really, because like
Mm-hmm.
Marini's not that strong, and like he could always recover on it or like get a knock off on it to scare it out. But yeah, I think Greedy really played the position well. Like noticing that like once the Grimer red knockoff was gone, there's like nothing stopping Marini from just walling the rest of the team.
Yeah, and yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was the
was
biggest hurdle for Skelly.
unfortunately true.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate hurdle
Yes.
that Skelly had to face, and ultimately, by not keeping the Grimer alive, ended up losing to Voltorb. That's just the nature of current LC right now. That's why I like preserving my
Also,
Grimers. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
do you
I
even
think
use
that
Grimers?
is also true.
Do you
Grimers,
even use Grimers in LC right now, Micoy?
I used it. I used it in Gen 7 LC, and now it's becoming one of my favorite mons in Gen 9 LC.
So you do use it right now, yes?
Don't scout me. Don't scout me, woman.
Well, why would I scout you? I don't. I'm not playing you in anything. Are you even playing anything Smogan related? Are you? I don't think so.
I'm training, okay? I'm training. I'm just
You're
using Poke.
training.
Just using Poke
Okay.
right now as my training ground.
Also, what's with the lore saying "say GG back"? Say it to Chade first, you nudnik.
uh,
You didn't say GG in your own game.
Wait, so chronologically, did this game happen before Bellow's game versus Chaitana?
Um. Yes,
yes,
actually, I think it
actually,
did.
yes.
See, that explains it then. Like, Bellow was just like, well, if you're not going to respect my opponents, then you
I
don't
ain't
get a
gonna
GG
respect
back.
you back.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
respect that from Bellow.
Yeah, and Poker, you summed it up well. All right. Next up, Michael Durbest versus London. Okay, this game, Michael did had a pretty lucky crit on turn 3 against Sneasler, who really struggled to truly try and kill anything with it already being at half health. Especially because Sneasler was very beneficial because it had Indeedee and it had Unburden. So why the hell is Sneasler not being used very effectively here?
Well, it got credit,
That
and well, I don't. Well, that wouldn't affect much at the time. What this crit did was it made it difficult for it to come back out safely because it was below half already.
really crippled it in the long run. I see. London did try to.
Yeah, I mean,
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Like, I think maybe if they could have maybe saved Terra for Sneasler, like it could have performed like I don't know why it runs and doubles OU, but maybe it could have like, confirmed the kill on Cleaver a bit sooner or like killed Chi and Pao. So they couldn't ice spin array the terrain. Like I guess there's like small micro things that could have enabled Sneasler here, but
True.
yeah, I think it was a tough matchup.
Yeah, if he could have Terra Dark would have been more beneficial because it would resist Chin Pao. It would probably tank hits from, not from Flutter Main, but from other things.
Excuse me?
Yeah, I think even with like the speed F boost, it's all like 100% dying, like to Flame.
Mm.
But excuse me? Why would you tear a sneeze learn this?
I have no idea. You do it in OU at least.
Maybe. I mean, Psychic.
Yeah.
Psychic's a pretty good, like. Also, try to resist. First of all, a pretty nasty Bleak Wind Storm by Tornadus.
Why would you? Defensive tearing a Sneasel that's already crippled is like dumb. I'm sorry.
It's a risky play, okay? People do it.
No, it's just dumb. It's just dumb.
People do it.
London was not wrong with what he terrored. That is for certain. Because Terra Water Wo Chen always looked good into this.
Yeah, segueing it very nicely there. Wochian did carry London to the end, getting off the lead sheet very well, using the Terra Water to tank some special hits well. Although, we would like to question, why didn't London go for Pollen Puff with the Sneasler at turn 15?
Turn 15, let me see what was turn 15.
Oh, because they put. Wait, no, I actually don't know if Blumpf goes through Unprotect, but whatever.
Oh, it would probably was a pretty
Oh,
good. And it was also
Yeah,
fun.
I'm not a doubles player, unfortunately, so I don't know all the mechanics.
well, yeah, I'm not sure how much that actually changed things in the long run.
Also,
I think London just wanted the Chen Pao dead,
it did. It did kill him off at
but
the
at
end.
the same time, it gave a free in to the Flutter main, which
Flutterman, which basically went ham at the end.
Yeah, I mean, at best you could only really like Ruination it, and then she's gonna get Pollen Puff healed. So,
Right,
and
right.
obviously Tingly's not doing too much to it either. So,
yeah, the problem is that Amoonguss is next to it, and it has Rage Powder. So even if you want to kill the Flutter main, you can't.
It's gonna get redirected anyway. And also it has Pollen Puff, so yeah, he had.
yeah, like I don't think there's any killing it. Like, yeah,
Yeah, there is no other way. If Amoonguss remains healthy, then yeah, Fluttermane would still heal itself thanks to the Amoonguss and Pollen Puff. So yeah, not a very interesting doubles game, honestly, for London. Michael
What
played it well.
truly What truly lost it for us is the fact that we did not have an answer to Amoonguss by the end. Our Volcarona, unfortunately, was of very little use because rocks went up immediately, and it's not Boots Volk.
It's it.
And Sneasler, who I assume probably had acrobatics, was never in a good position to actually get damage done.
How unfortunate. How unfortunate. Alright, and next up is the mono game, Seru versus ASIC, which a lot of people were actually pulling for Seru too.
Which is a little, I'm sorry, that's a little stupid.
A lot of people were predicting Seru, I
yeah,
think.
Like, did no one pay attention to ASIC having the best mono record in the tour at the time?
Yeah,
I
but you know, I
think
mean, Sarah's built different. I'm sure they could have.
It's true. Seru is built
Azek's
different.
built different.
Yeah,
Azek's
but like,
built different.
Azek cooks. Seru
yeah,
builds. So,
I think you know maybe some things just went a bit differently, so I definitely would have had his number, but it's fine.
uh, yeah, yeah, and it's very evident in this game actually. Like, Seru, first of all, Seru in the early parts of this game tried to early sweep Azek with Moltres, but Toxapex was still around, dealing poison, preventing him to pretty much getting anywhere, although it did kill Quagsire thanks to a lucky flinch.
Yeah, but I mean that's for Moltres. Like you get the one flinch, and then you can kind of snowball from there, or try to snowball from there.
True, true.
Yeah.
I respect it, is what I'm trying to say.
And then then later towards the game, we saw the return of Special Swift Swim Basculegion, which is apparently becoming a real problem in Monotype.
It's got
It's
higher
pretty good at
SPA than
everything, right?
attack.
and with the and with the ban of Last Respects, yeah, it's still a threat.
Uh, oh, yeah, you said it was banned. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's banned.
Um, all right. And then towards the end game, Seru had kind of a hope spot with Enamorous healing Wishing into Thunderous, which had he had Substitute to go along with its Thunderbolt, he would have really killed Azek's team. Like, he would have just straight up won. Used agility. He
Yeah, I
used
think you
agility
had
in
to
the
bank on a Hydro Pump miss as well, though. But
yeah. Had he used agility? He got off a Thunderbolt on Pelipper, and then what? And then the Toxapex right here. Had he substitute right there, he would have straight up won. But unfortunately, he got toxic thanks to Toxapex, ultimately crippling him in the long run. And where Azek basically had to play switch around a lot, so that Thundy just kills everything but the Toxapex in order to win.
yeah, that's a really well played
Um,
endgame by Isaac.
yeah, but Micoy, do you know? Do you even know if it had substitute?
No,
You're just
Sarah had substitute.
assuming.
I wish it
I
had.
believe in
Hmm?
Sarah. He definitely had it.
Oh, oh, he did.
I know. I have no idea. I just want him to have it. I've had it, so we can talk
Same.
about a hypothetical endgame where Sarah won.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
honestly a little it was honestly a little stupid to not substitute if he did have it. So I'm going to assume he didn't because he never used it, even though
Ooh,
there were
skeptical.
multiple opportunities that would have presented as good times to do so. Besides, this thing's agility. Is agility sub common?
I don't think it is. Like, 'cause I guess he'll double dance with these kind of sets, but
If it had
you
nasty
know,
plot, if it
I
had
can
nasty
hope.
plot, substitute, agility, thunderbolt, then what a combo, am I
Yeah,
right?
zero coverage moves.
I think that's I don't think that's a good combo, honestly, because like you need a little coverage. You need at least one other attack.
Look, they're not going to bring a ground type. That's what you have
Well,
to
except for
bank on. Or you
Quagsire,
just flinch
that's
it
great.
and kill. Yeah, you just flinch Coxar and kill it. Like you don't need to rely on that until it's end game and there's no ground type.
There's not really much opportunities aside from Quagsire to have really bring a ground type into current monotype. So yeah.
Well, what if basic just kind of brings mono ground
Yikes! Then
and
that's a
then the
problem.
and then the thunderous is
Nah,
just
well that's
it
massive
doesn't
fish.
do anything.
Yeah, mono flying would just lose. Sarah would have straight up lost if Isaac brought mono ground. Because knowing
I have
Isaac.
no idea how the matchup goes, but yeah, I want to say that Sarah would have got matchup fished and would have lost, and it was not his fault.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we have the Anastar Articunos getting demolished by the Resort City Rufflets.
which is good for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think Articunos can still make playoffs, even though they lost. I have no idea how it works though. I think they have to have like
They're
all the
kind of
stars
in a
align.
slump. They're kind of in a slump these last couple of weeks. So if they can pull it back in week 7, that they might make it into playoffs. It's just all a matter of differentials.
They won't.
Yeah,
They
for me,
won't.
They won't. You're making sure of that
Even if
one.
they aren't guaranteed, even though they aren't guaranteed out, they just won't. You know how I think said something around the beginning how poke teams they don't do well.
Yikes. Are you jinxing them like this? Not like
wow.
this, Pokemon. Not like this. Okay,
Remember the Solaceon Solgaleos?
I did.
They came in last.
Yeah, and they came in last year, I think, with their own Articunos.
Yeah, poke teams they do not have good success rates, you see.
Unfortunate. And this one's just evident of that. So let's cover these games, shall we? First off, an SVOU, Crying versus Sylveon Use Combine. One of the few Pote wins this week. And Sylveon's streak is gone.
Was nice while it lasted.
But there was a moderately paced game that saw both sides pretty played evenly. But after Great Tusk died, Crying just started to outclass. He just became more aggressive by that point and played better as Sylveon had a hard time dealing with hazards and ultimately lost.
Yeah, it's a good wrap up of it. Like, I mean, I love the taunt on the Great Tusk as well. Just making sure that they can never actually get any progress with any of their setup sweepers or their own Great Tusk.
Hmm. Yeah, that was a good bring. Ultimately, it just didn't pan out the way Sylveon wanted it to pan out. So yeah, and ended up Crying ultimately winning, which is kind of a rare feat in this year's BLT. Crying never wins until this point. I don't think Crying has won a game. Maybe he has
Yeah, just in
before.
time for playoffs.
Hmm. Next up, we have Acer 1 versus Avarice. And this game was very good. Very good. Does a pretty testament to how good these players both are. Especially around the beginning, where ACR1 used Steel Beam on his Iron Treads.
Oh yeah, that was interesting.
Crippling.
Oh yeah, no, I love that set. Like a fully special Iron Treads with like still beam just to get some momentum.
Yeah, I kind of dig it. It was a it's a great suicide lead, especially if you have if they have hazards.
Yeah,
If they don't have hazard removal, just set it up and then steel beam so you could get a nice pivot in. So another eccentric mon comes in and ultimately sweeps you, which is a good strat by ACR1. Very clever. Electro Ball outright killing Enamorus was a kind of a surprise, at least for me. I know,
Was it really? Was it
I
really? Do you
know,
know how slow that mon is?
Yeah,
I mean
I
it's not
know,
like mad
Electrode is very
slow, but
fast, but it's still surprising to see friggin'
yeah, it's like base 90 special attack, like
mm-mm,
from Electrode anyway.
Yeah,
Like I
but
don't
do
know.
you know how much power that Electro Ball was?
150, I
I have
believe.
no probably base 150, but I still don't trust I still don't trust Electrode.
Let me look at how powerful it was actually.
And Enamorus is
DP
good special
Electro
defense, right?
Ball.
Yeah, it's like it's a bulky one, so like actually it is really slow now that I think of it. I think it's like base 30 speed or something really low like that.
Basically, its max speed is like 210 or something, and it probably wasn't max speed.
Yeah, maybe
Yikes.
just creeping like Toxapex or something.
You
Like
just
I
need
don't
that
think I
special
would have had
buff.
that much speed.
and obviously the electrode is gonna be max speed. So that was a strong electro ball.
Hitting a pretty bulky mon in Enamorous.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. Like, I'm still never going to use Electrode, even though like I've seen so many tour replays of it. But
It's good. It's good when you get
Yeah,
it going.
yeah, I don't trust it.
seems like a good lower tiers mon. I don't know if it should really still be an OU.
Oh
No,
yeah, no, it's going to
I
drop
think it would
like end
drop.
of this month.
Yeah, I think it's gonna drop to like RU, but it's good from the way it's been performing in these tours. Like it can handle well. It can be a good bring if you're just feeling ballsy.
Yeah, it's totally like Regieleki, just like Regieleki, just minus
It's
all
big.
the factors that
Yeah,
make
it's basically
Regieleki busted.
Regieleki. You're right. Um,
It's a slightly slower Regieleki with grass moves and stab.
and
Yeah, I
Chloroblast.
mean the grass up
Chloroblast
is
is
like
good.
pretty decent. Like there's something for it.
Uh,
Except it doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah,
um,
no, not even slightly.
Yeah, Avarice's Goldango will ended up just being the perfect counter to that offensive Dragonite set that ACR1 brought. You know, the Earthquake, E-Speed Encore Dragon Dance one. Not even getting an Encore because it has good as gold for an ability.
Yeah, like I mean, I really like if you're gonna run encore, like fire spin and things like that, especially because of like Zamazenta as well. Like you kind of want the passive chip, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's like if you don't run fire coverage of some sort, you're just gonna get walled by Ebling or Dango
yeah,
with
you're gonna get walled by Goldango hard if
yeah,
you just don't carry a fire move, which Avarice actually does.
Yeah.
So in the
because
end,
then they never let you break a balloon usually, but yeah, no, I think this is. I mean, I don't want to say it was like a bad matchup. I've obviously Alvarez could have done some things, but yeah, like the momentum was definitely in ACR1's favor.
Yeah, and towards the end, the Iron Valiant really helped up ACR1 near the end. Terra Dark and Knockoff seems like a good combo, especially when you have a end game like this one. Like when you have a Golden Go left and you're not really like pressing for anything, it's gonna recover. It's like recover here. Maybe it would do well with Make It Rain, but not really looking well for Iron Valiant. Or no, not looking well for Golden Go to really get off a one hit KO against Iron Valiant. So ended up
Yeah,
getting E speed, getting a crit kill, and that's the end for Iron Valiant.
I mean, I do wonder for like Focus Blast because I mean, you know, Valiant does not have good special defense. Like,
Right,
yeah,
right.
maybe you could have caught it on the turn that hit
Valiant
Terra,
doesn't
but
have good defenses for anything.
yeah, it has decent defense, like
It's
just
decent.
regular Fizz Def. Like it tanks E speeds pretty well.
Yeah, it's okay. It's just a
Yeah, I mean, it's
very
not
good.
great, but
It's okay. Next up, a game that we've been hyping up all tour because they're literally the two best Ubers players in the world. Aberforth versus FC.
Not the world. Jeez.
That's very high praise, I know, but they're just the two best players
I
in the
mean, if you could
world.
name someone else, you can name like other like well-known Ubers players, then yeah, I'd love to hear them. But yeah, these are definitely the goats.
mm.
Yep,
The
two cheerleaders.
two tier leaders, two Ubers goats. What more can you ask? The good catch by FC early on by switching into Gothitelle when Clodsire was out, just effectively killing one of Aberforth's defensive cores. Because Clodsire kind of not really kind of needed, but it's a good like switch in against Kyogre with water absorb, or just straight up unaware for those pesky sword stance mons.
No, not for sword stance mons because it doesn't have
Oh
physical
yeah, physical defense.
defense.
Yeah, special defense. Well, special defensive is a good wall, but no, not physical
Yeah, I
defensive.
mean, it would have handled the Kyogre, I guess, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
Arceus ground just doing enough damage to kill Ting Lu whilst being poisoned. I think that was a better use of the other game, which kind of wasted Arceus ground. Whereas this one, Aberforth pretty much played well here with his Arceus ground, despite being toxic, getting the kill off Eternatus, getting the taunt off of Tinglu, and ultimately killing Tinglu with Earthquake. It was a better use. It was a better use of a toxic Arceus ground than the last one. Um, Koraidon avoiding Paras,
What do you mean the last
Yeah, I mean, he
one?
actually managed to kill something,
the
which
the
is
Laysin one.
more than the other Arceus Ground could say.
Yeah, more than the other
Oh,
Arceus ground.
a toxic Arceus ground. I thought you said a toxic Arceus ground, as in it had toxic. No.
Poisoned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
nothing gets
Better
toxic
wording.
anymore,
Poisoned.
unfortunately.
Koraidon avoiding Paras to kill both Gothitelle and Kyogre despite being tricked was a pretty nice touch by Aberforth. In the end, though, we saw the Terra Water Zacian ended up sweeping the end game with Terra Blast.
I
The fact
think in
that
the last
Zacian can
game, it was
Terra
also, yeah,
is
it was on Terra
terrifying.
Zacian.
Get it? Terrifying.
Yes, we get it.
Yeah,
Yeah, killing
terrible joke.
killing the
Terrible
Corviknight.
joke.
Killing the
Terrible.
That's terrible. We're gonna make so much puns. Okay. Yeah. Terra Water is Zacian. Very good. Very good. End game situation by FC. Ultimately picking up the win. All right. Next up, SVUU. Udon Girl versus Yavitu, and finally, after 6 long weeks, Udon Girl finally gets a win.
At long last.
Yeah, like she's been ruining people's predictions because I feel like every single week you have to vote for her because she's so good at SVOU and SVUU right
She's
now.
actually
But
been yeah, she's been
yeah,
ruining our prediction specifically because we've been predicting for Udon Girl for like almost almost all of BLT so far.
I mean you
Yeah,
have
and
to because she's just
yeah, too good.
Hmm.
I like the team she brought. At least it was I mean it's like a Udongo classic kind of team. I think she brought this in a invitational game against like Piff with like the R Believer plus Scream Tail call. Like it's like
Mm.
really it's a really inventive call. But yeah,
I didn't know that was
Banded
still a
Tita went
core for
crazy.
SVUU.
I mean, it's not a natural core. It's just like a meme. Like you get to activate like seeds on Scream Towel, like make it more bulky for like calm minds or power sweeps. After
Right,
Tita, after like Banded Tita has like ravaged through the team, we can clean up with Scream Towel.
right.
It's very Udon Girl. Like it's not like a well established thing really.
That's just her style. That's just one of the styles that she wants to bring, especially in this current SVUU meta where you really need defensive cores. Like Arbaleva plus Screamtail, kind of a unique bring, but also kind of an effective bring in the long run.
Yeah, I love the specs on I believe as well. It hits like really hard. When it's like in its own terrain plus specs. I mean, it's still like it's definitely never gonna be like moving away from like is it? I think it's RU, but like it has its niche in higher tiers.
Especially in
Yeah, I've
UU.
seen it used in OU as well.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, like you see it on like just a lot of meme teams, which like rely on its terrain or like rely on people just not respecting our believer as like an special attacker.
It's a threat. It's a unique threat. Definitely. Yavitu tried to trick Screamtail into having specs, but it was already boosted Grassy Seed and already has just started attacking with Flamethrower, which is which Pokeyart you mentioned that you didn't even know Screamtail had Flamethrower.
Um, yeah, I didn't know it had that actually.
It's a good
You know,
bring.
it gets like really good coverage. Just it comes from like space 65 special attack.
a good bring.
Yeah, wait a minute. I just realized that thing's probably like a monster or something in Flip. I think that's the OM name.
In what?
I have never had a flipped. Is that like you swap
That like
stats?
flips your stats or
Oh,
something. I forget the
flip.
order in which it flips it, but like
Oh, flip.
basically imagine like some of those uh defensive stats going into like attack or
It's
something.
physical defense flipped with special attack. So kind of a monster actually.
Yeah, but
Or
they're
no,
Yeah, I
like
it's
imagine
good
that
speed as
thing could
well.
be a beast
Like
in that OM.
yeah, flip Screamtail is gonna be so hard. Yeah, nothing much else to say in
I
this game in particular. Like Udon Girl just played ultimately better.
Yeah, and Micoy, even though Udon Girl actually didn't ruin my predicts for last week, that because she finally won, but she still ruined your predicts because you actually for once did not predict in favor of her and thus got
It's been a common trend in this week in particular because my own predicts get ruined thanks to people actually winning.
yeah, okay, good.
Next,
cool.
next up, we got Terracotta versus Plaz in RU. This game was a complete curb stomp, honestly, and it's in the favor of Plaz actually, because he kind of outclassed Terra here. Because
Yeah,
Yep.
like he definitely set up the Jolteon win con perfectly.
yeah,
I think Jolteon kind of had matchup. There's like no ground types here.
Let me look. Oh yeah, you're right. Oh
Like
yeah, it's
I don't
this
even know what they could
game.
have done, honestly.
oh yeah, this
Like
is
no
that game.
crocodile is like really tough.
This is that game. First things first though, it kind of used Brute Bonnet to outsport Altaria and Terra and Tauros very well. That was kind of a neat sort of plays from Blast at the beginning. And then a couple games later, okay. Where does that turn? Where is that turn? You see here? Okay, you see here. Terra brought a Terra Dark Vaporeon, which can it's kind of a good way to prevent any and all crunches or anything that takes normal special hits. Ultimately, getting
Yeah, because like stored power sweepers as well. Kind of like stop by it.
and it also resists Jolteon Thunderbolts. Well, takes normal damage from Thunderbolts very well. But then Jolteon decided, oh no, I'm a Terra Fairy, and ultimately did Terra Blast in order to kill Vape.
That was funny. It's like the Vaporeon's like, well, I know you were gonna do this, so I'm gonna do this in Terra Darks, and then the Jolteon, it's like I knew you were gonna do this, so I did this. So in Terra Fairies,
And ultimately,
that's so unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst part is that it's not even full Jolteon. I'm pretty sure it's just there for a potential crocodile. Like you get to use like the stab fairy move against it. But I mean, I
yeah.
seriously don't know how Terra could have run this game other than just having like a better Terra. I guess like Terra Ground maybe would have been better, like on Vaporeon. But I mean, why would you run that? Like,
No,
it just
why
not. I
else would
think
you
it
run
just
that?
wasn't his
I
matchup.
guess if you want to try, counteracting some other thing that is weak to ground with Jolteon, I guess you could try that. But like, No, Terra Fairy, Terra Ghost, anything with Terra Jolteon works better. And this is just one of the few surprising Terras. Yeah, after being tricked, Jolteon just kind of went ham, hit Thunderbolts left, right, and center until he was left with his Magius, and Blaz took the win.
Yeah, not too
Yep.
difficult of a win for him, but I mean, he played it out perfectly. He knew that Jolteon won and won with Jolteon.
Yeah, it was very nice display there by Blaz.
Yep, it's about time too.
About damn time. Next up, Shiloh versus Piyush in NU. This game was
An
weird.
unexpected result, to say the least.
This game was weird. First,
Yeah, especially because I'm pretty sure Piyush is like an OU main. Like, at least that's what he was playing before.
but this BLT has proven that Piyush absolutely does well in NU given the right circumstances. And this game was just kind of a highlight for him. The MVP of this game was definitely Clowitzer, who did serious damage to Chansey with Aura Sphere, and even Terra Dragon just to kill Magneton. It was an okay bring. It's just doing enough damage just really helped things in the long run. And Lautzer just kind of killed that and gave Magneton the win. The kill, I mean. Pyroar seemed like a huge hope spot for Shiloh, but Piyush just generally had more Mon to generally sack it, and ultimately Rotom came out and killed it at the end.
Is it me or is Pyro like rising a lot in usage lately?
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think I've seen it in like 2 games now in NU. So
yeah, there were literally 2 Pyros in my game versus Toki.
And yeah, I always thought Pyro was good but outclassed by normal mons. But in SV, like it's rising up. It's actually been proving to be quite the threat.
yeah, I mean, I guess with Tara, it finally gets like some coverage, but yeah, maybe it can use that. Maybe it can try to get to NU because I believe it's like PU right now. Like I have no idea, but
Especially since Fire Blast and
it's
Hyper
definitely
Voice
a
just
decent
hits
one.
harder in most scenarios. Next up,
Oh yeah, no,
SVP.
it has like a truck with its stabs.
SVPU. Losco versus Tenebrasite. This was my personal highlight match going into this week, but the actual game itself, it was basically boiled down to just one mon, Quillfish.
Ah, yes, Quillfish.
First of all, the scarf trick there was very unfortunate for Sliggoo to be tricked by Indeedee. And that just sets up Quillfish to just basically go ham, dodging the Draco Meteor first and foremost from Sliggoo, setting up agility,
Honestly, I don't
setting.
think that mattered because of its bulk. Like
Yes.
Quillfish is just so bulky with an
Yes,
Eagle-Eye.
I don't think it mattered either because Quillfish generally has a great bulk, especially with Eviolite. Um, Using agility, using Swords Dance, ended up sweeping. That's all she wrote.
Yeah, and yeah, that was honestly kind of nuts. How many kills did it get? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Did it kill us? 5. It killed all 6 mons.
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever seen a Quillfish in PU like not do like God's work. Like it's so reliable at sweeping.
Damn.
It's good.
Also, Micoy, the one time you don't predict for Lusco, your boy, He won?
I went for my other boy, okay? It was really hard.
Come on.
If you were in my
Losco's your boy
position, who would you
first.
have picked, huh?
I was in your position, Micoy, because we were all predicting, so I picked Losco.
No, if you were in my position specifically, because Lusco is a boy, Tenebrisite is also a boy. Like, these are two good boys battling it out.
Yeah, but like Losco's the OG boy. You betrayed him, Micoy.
Well, not anymore, I don't. Because they're actually fighting in different teams again. Thank God. Next up, we got Gorex versus Hacker. Another situation of, oh, I went in with my tried and true gut, ultimately lost. Thanks, guys. Alright,
Your gut's just not very accurate, I guess.
I need to have that replaced. Give me a hospital. Anyway, uh, this game, Hacker did start off strong, able to call a predict very early on by going for a straight up flare blitz with the Growlithe against the Diglett. It was that turn. What day is it?
Turn 7?
Turn 7. Yes, the straight up killing the Diglett. Very very nice. Gorix's Growlithe Isuri.
Yeah, he essentially predicted the switch because that was on a because it was he was doing it on Marini initially.
Yeah, he got that switch
Yeah, I
right.
mean that was an insane prediction.
Next, and then, the Growlithe Hisui right here, this Terragrass Growlithe Hisui, just had a really hard time against Sandile. Yes, it Terragrass to avoid getting Earthquake, but it missed the head smash and got crunched twice for the kill.
Yeah, like I don't know, maybe nah, I was gonna say maybe save the Terra Grass for to catch the Sandile off guard, but no, I guess tearing in front of the Marini is still pretty reasonable.
Maybe,
I know, yeah, for certain.
Gorex
I mean,
did.
yeah, I guess it wouldn't really change if you
Wait,
could get like
no,
one more
it
KO
wasn't in
winner.
front of the Marini. What?
Against Sandile.
Wait, no, this is correct. Yeah, no, wait, yeah, it did Terra in front of the Sandile. It just had Protect. My bad.
Yeah. Gorex did try to play.
Yeah, I think it's like a good bring, just
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Hacker's part.
It did generally feel like a good bring. I wish it was effective more. Gorix did try to play well around against the Burn Terra Electric Brawler, but Marini ended up getting paralyzed and just kind of crippled its momentum.
Yeah, well, the T punch that parried it. No, wait, no. What did it get paralyzed by?
Thunder Punch, yeah.
What turn is this? I'm looking. I don't
Terra
see it.
Electric.
Oh, here it is. Turn 26. Ah, yeah. There it is. Full para. No, para into full para. That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Kind of everyone was kind of like, on it. Marini was at least well kept for the end game against Ponyard, who kind of scored relatively high rolls for the knockout, and Hacker won based off that.
Yeah, but also the Drifloon crit Marini.
That was another
Yeah,
thing.
that was pretty big because I mean, it really needed the recovers because I think Ponyard wasn't Night Slash, so it actually couldn't really touch Marini if it had like enough recovers left, and it would have let them like outplay the sucker punches. So it was actually really close coming into the end game if everything went in Gorex's favor.
Yeah, and that was ultimately the end of Marini's there. Gorix just basically had sucker punch, and ultimately, lost this.
Yep. But with it literally running out of recover.
Ah well.
Yeah, like it was literally forced to attack into the sucker punch, so there's like no outplay Gorix could have done.
Ah well. All right. Next up, we got Faye versus Aragon in DOU. This one, this one was kind of funny. Faye getting early luck by critting the Quillfish Hisui, which already in and of itself was a kind of an odd bring by Aragon here, and just keeping Sash Great Tusk in for most of the early parts of this game. And then towards the end, you had the bulk of Palafin, which ended up getting the MVP here. Able to stay in and set up for the whole game, beat down at anything that Faye had, including Terragrass Etrin, which is a kind of a common thing in doubles nowadays.
Well, that makes sense, because double ground weakness. Plus, I would imagine it runs Terrablast for coverage against ground and water.
Especially against, like, Palafin. Actually, pretty ironic against Palafin.
Yeah, Palapin's kind of a common mon. That is also Great Tusk.
Tusk, and you had not Kyogre. Kyogre's Ubers.
Yeah, no, Kyogre's like card banned. I think Ursaluna was like unbanned for a bit, like, or it's at least getting suspect tested now. I'm not sure.
Oh
All I
yeah,
know
it's
is that
getting
it
suspect,
was
right?
busted in doubles.
Maybe, yeah, maybe Ursaluna as well. Like more things for Heatran to just straight up resist, basically. And next,
Anyway, speaking of things that Terragrass Hedron resisted, let's talk about how Aragon ultimately won this game.
uh, you talk about it. How do you explain this?
Come on, Micoy, the Palafin? The Palafin?
I did mention it being the MVP. Even the freaking end game saw Palafin absolutely
Oh,
dominate that end game
well, yeah, so basically Palafin killed everything.
with Terrafire as well. Just straight up Terrafire.
Yeah,
Yes, Terrifier to resist grass, which poor Hedron, even though it just Terra just to resist the Palafin, it gets out resisted.
Ultimately died in painful ways. Next up, we got Royal Reloaded defeating TDR. It was Fairy versus Ground, and towards the early parts of this game, Royal just kind of had a hard time at the start setting up hazards when Hatrin is basically there on the field, ready to magic bounce the ever living crap out of it. TDR then missed a pretty crucial Zen headbutt at turn 10, allowing Clodsire to live the rest of the game.
Yep.
There was also the point where Hatren ended up making a huge mistake and set up instead of straight just attacking Tinglu, who heavy slammed it twice for the knockout.
Oh, yeah. It'd be one thing if you had screens up, but screens were not up.
Yeah, I think this is like a classic situation where you're just like, oh, my setup super will just outspeed, and then you forget it's Harian, which has like zero speed.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the fact that not every Tinglu carries Heavy Slam, but apparently this one did.
This one did, and ultimately got the knockout against Hatren. Um, Great Tusk's Ice Spinner did massive damage, and thanks to poison damage plus Clodsar's T spikes being up after Hatren was dead, Clodsar was able to set up T spikes. That, in combination with Great Tusk, ended up giving Royal a huge dominant W.
Yeah, well, I think poison tends to be a little poison. I meant ground.
Ground.
I think ground tends to be a bit favored over fairy in past gens and maybe even this gen, because I mean the fairy relies on sweepers, often hard hitters and like setup sweepers, and like ground is really good at like crippling and wearing down and taking hits really well. Plus, we got a Clodsire, which is a poison type and has unaware or even a. Well, actually, I don't know if it's got unaware here, but it might. It could. But we got a Quagsire, which is unaware.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that was a thing, and Royal ended up once again, impressing more and more as the BLT moves on. Next up,
So yeah, I think Royal had a better matchup.
mhm,
Unless this was one of those like Giga Drain Hatterians or something.
or stored power hat trains, yeah. Um,
Yeah, Sword Power maybe could have done it, but I mean, obviously it died to the Ting Loop really early on.
Yeah.
mm. All right, next up, Phantom Trout tying the Dressrosa Dracovishes. Ooh. All right. First up, SVOU, Ender versus Clean. With Clean finally picking up a win over Ender.
It's not his first win.
When was his first win? It's been a while since Clean won a game, huh?
It has indeed been a while, but it was not his first. Uh, Clean is a Dracovish, right? Yeah. Clean is 2-4. He won. His first win was in week 2 versus Shiloh.
Ah, yeah, that game. And then he won here against Ender. So, Clean used, again, Terragrass Heatran and he put it to good use actually, like trapping Hatren enough to kill it by a Magma Storm Earth Power combo, surviving long enough to set up rocks, and even chip Dragapult as it was dying. It was a good way.
Dang.
It was a good way to like preserve Heatran for the long term game. And there was a moment where Ender just played around with Sucker Punch by. Oh yeah, this was the game where Ender's Volcanion played around with Sucker Punch King Gambit by, he tried to substitute, but it was too low on health, but it was just to get rid of Sucker Punch PP.
Just to not get felled by the Sucker Punch, yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, you have to get like 8 50-50s in a row, which is,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just insane.
Yeah, usually you don't get that 50-50 that many times in a row.
Yeah, the one time turn 36 ultimately lost, and yeah, that was just basically enough for Clean to just preserve all the sucker punches he had left and ultimately pick up the win.
Yeah, like Tinglu couldn't really do anything back to it, I think, and obviously Coordinate's sleeping, so no chance, even if
Mm,
you were body press.
mm. But hey, good. But your teammates brought it back, Rasche, because the next one was Lance
Yeah.
versus Sword Strike. Lax. Lax winning.
Oh yeah, I remember this. I love the team that Lax brought. Like, I mean, Scream Tail and Reggie Drago are some of my favorite mons. So, I mean, Scream Tail's probably one of my favorite from this gen, and then like Reggie Drago from Gala from
Gen
Gen
8.
8, I want to say.
Mm,
So yeah, like just I mean, it's like it's a really heat team. Because I mean, when you consider that Rillaboom is probably going to be UU or like UBL or something like that, like
mm.
basically three OU mons and then three like underused mons or will be
Wow,
underused mons.
that's actually a pretty cool bring then. Like I am genuinely impressed the way Lax brought his team. Um,
Yeah, I mean it's a matchup fish, but because obviously like one fairy type really fucks over Reggie Drago, but
right.
no fairies, so
Yeah, it
good
was no
scouting, I guess.
fairies, which is Lax breathed a sigh of relief knowing that fact. Um, there was a good catch though by Sword Strike early on by having Terra Ground Iron Moth just blast Heatran and ultimately losing to it. But Terra Dark Toxapex, that was a pretty unique bring. Toxicking Slowbro and just shutting down Future Sight very well.
Yeah, I mean it did its job, but it was definitely a hack magnet in this game. Like I mean, it got like the Surge Bomb Toxic, Surge Bomb Poison, and then I believe like later on in the game, like it was getting like blinched and crit by Baxcalibur. Like really made the game a lot closer than it had to be. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
True.
good bring.
yeah, because towards the end of the game, we saw the Screamtail really did a great job just shutting down any potential sweep by Baxcalibur. Until Toxapex missed the Toxic and kind of ruined Lax's momentum a bit, but he managed to recover, got off the necessary kills that he had, and ultimately won the game.
Yeah, that Reggie Drago went nuts.
It really did, yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the Draco meters really hit hard. Um, but yeah, like I just don't think they had a switch in for it. Like after King Gambit fell.
The eventual Draco Meteors are in towards the end, which is a very good setup there by Lax. Really well earned win. Next up, we got Mashing versus Ainscrad. Oh, Ainscrad. What the hell did you bring, good sir? Like, the team he brought was very interesting. Again, it had the Skeletors, which I'm not very surprised that it's very common now in Ubers because Skeletors just is the primo unaware mod this gen.
It is though, especially with Zacian having come to Ubers,
Mm.
Scaligurge became necessary.
But I'm saying that's weird, but looking at Mashing's brought,
Yeah,
and he
there's a
brought a
Rapska.
Rapska and an Ursaluna to Ubers.
Well,
Yeah, like
it makes it very clear what kind of team this is, Micoy.
Turikuru.
yeah, I mean this is like such an obvious trick room bring, but like we have some like I guess we have like the Arceus East Beach for priority. Like I mean I don't know what our Crydon set was, but we have some like speed control here, so it's not an insane bring, I guess.
Yeah,
And
definitely,
obviously Ravka basically lets you get like another Uber's Pokemon back.
and yeah, the speed control definitely benefited benefited Mashing in the long run here. But Ainscrad, using the Skeletor being the MVP, taking hints well against Arceus, burning it successfully, defeating Koraidon and Calyrex Ice at the end. Very impressive. Very good finishing game from Ainscrad. Carbonite, though, being poorly used against Ursaluna, though, and just immediately getting burned and immediately getting Earthquake. Just not a very good sign there. Rabska failing to perform its role by immediately getting sacked to Overheat, which was very unfortunate. But in the end, yeah, the Skelligers just became MVP, ultimately winning. Very good sign of affairs there by Ainsgrad. All right, Rasche,
Yeah,
talk
like they
about your
definitely saw
game
that they had an
versus.
opportunity to win there. So.
Go on. You were saying something?
Oh yeah, no, I was just saying like they had the like perfect opportunity to win with Skeledirge towards the end there. Like and when we especially when we lost Rapska, like it's like really hard for us to get any more pressure on. Like
Right.
outside of just like Arceus. Like we were basically just left with like some physical attackers we just couldn't get past it.
Mm. All right, Rashe, talk about your game
Yeah,
versus
but it's my game
Shiba.
next, I guess.
So,
Oh boy.
I'm not liking how I played this game, like partially. So I mean, I
so
guess to go through turn by turn.
yeah. So what happened basically?
Like yeah,
The first parts of this game, you were actually like struggling a bit against Shiba's mons.
mm-hmm. So I was Scarf Gren, which was it was really annoying because I had to kind of bluff that I wasn't Scarf because I wanted to kind of catch that Greninja with like a U-turn or something. And obviously just in case they were like DD meant I wanted to keep the illusion of that, you know, I can outspeed it. But yeah, like they had like the perfect sets against me. There were like boots on all their mons. So like my T spikes did nothing, and Rochen was like a really big pain for me because my team's not really well built to take it down. And I think
Mm.
as you're gonna see, like I really didn't have the best matchup into Salamence either. Like I was kind of forced to tear up my Decidueye, which in retrospect was like an throw by me because I had Terra Rock Hippowdon, who could have acted as like a special wall
Mm.
against the Salamence, but I kind of just like hard switched in, and it did like a lot more damage than I was expecting. Like I believe it was like a modest Mence, which is kind of greedy, but you know it gets the job done.
Mm.
Yeah, I think where things changed though because I mean I was kind of I did like kind of throw by um like tearing Decidueye and then just kind of spammed roosts like hoping for misses.
Right.
But yeah, where things turned around was yeah when they sacked Wochian to my Salamence, which like really opened the end game for Sizzle to get like a Soul Dance sweep off because now like I didn't have to worry about like foul play Wochian taking me down if I Soul Danced.
Mm. Yeah. What really
And
threw us
yeah,
off?
like I think I just found a way to get Sizzle in.
Yeah. What really threw us off was
Yeah, I
the
think I'm.
Sandy Shocks play that uh Shiba did.
Oh yeah, and turn 37.
Yeah, it went for
Yeah,
rocks when he is at a very notable position. Like late game rocks usually is a good strat for if you are in a pinch and want to get hazards free. That could be in a good that could be in a good pinch, but ultimately you went straight up for the sword stance while he was setting up, and then just straight up got the trailblaze and then just straight up killed everything else.
yeah. Like Sizzle kind of just got everything in range, got rid of like all this annoying like fast things on their team, and kind of just left it in a situation where I was just like, okay, Ment outspeeds everything. I just need to make sure that I don't miss like my hurricanes and my flamethrower against like Sizzle, and I win. And yeah, that happened. So I mean, yeah, not the cleanest play from like both of us, but like I'm kind of happy that I managed to recover after basically like removing my own Terramon from the game, and
Mm,
yeah, like kind of second my best switch into Salamence.
right, and yeah, and then the end game saw the Salamence hitting the hardcore. Yeah, very well played game at
Yep.
the end there, Rashe. I have to give you credit for absolutely pulling it back after a very unfavorable situation there.
Also, I'm really unsure as to why Shiba rocks in that turn
Again,
when
I have no
like
idea.
like
yeah,
like
Caesar
imagine.
died to two powers, and it's not like Bullet Punch killed it. I don't think.
Yeah, I think maybe he got like overconfident with the end game in that situation, or was like expecting me to like Trailblaze first, which is probably what I should have done instead of like. But I was really slow on Sizzle. I was like 0 speed, like just enough for Rochan. So I didn't actually outspeed after one Trailblaze. So yeah, I mean, not the best, but not the best played by both of us. But yeah, like he definitely could have just Earth Power twice, and it would have been a lot less close.
Right, right. Ultimately, Rasche picking up a huge win over Shiba.
Yeah, yeah, I still got the win though.
It was yeah, it's definitely one of the surprise clutch wins, which is a very good sign. All right, next up.
Yeah, like she got choked, but Rashay played well.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have still won with my ments because I was pretty fast on my ments, and they were like definitely modest. So, like, I felt like I still had like an advantage, like after getting rid of Rochan. But I'm not gonna complain when my opponent chokes.
Mm. All right, next up from a clutch win to what the frick? It's Unsubscriber
Yeah,
versus Team
this
Charm. What
this
Oh
game's
no!
this game's really. I don't even want to commentate over it.
what the hell is this game all
Ugh.
about? First off, the
Oh boy!
First off, the Samurott was a surprise standout, being Lumberry to ward off the paralysis, dishing off huge knockoffs thanks to both Terra Dark and Aquajet. I know, yes, that there was an early point in the game where the Salazzle was trying for a sludge bomb against Bronzong. It was either charm trolling or it was just wanting to straight up sack the the Salasso.
Look, I'm going to guess he expected a switch, although it's not like a sludge bomb actually hits very much here effectively.
Fire Blast is a
Yeah,
better.
Like
Fire Blast would definitely be a safer
like
move.
maybe he expected a switch into Altaria.
Maybe, but why? Why? Why would you
I guess he
begin
also
to?
didn't expect the Bronco carrying earthquake.
Mm, okay, and then
I think
the
it's just a situation where I think they thought they were safer than they were, but
yeah, there's the Lumberry play, and there's the knockoff kill. Like again, just straight up with the fury, and then towards the end of the game, we saw Bronzong getting frozen by Abomasnow, just feeling the thaw whilst being chipped very slowly to the copper Raja.
Yeah,
this was really painful, especially because it was a blizzard which was hit outside of the snow. So
And it hit,
they're already
and
pretty lucky to hit in the first place.
smug comment aside from Charm, he just had this matchup down. Poor Kroger really couldn't do anything.
when I
Yeah,
was
like he was all
watching
good
this
for the end
game,
game.
like I think I caught this live. When Bronson was, still alive and healthy, I'm just like, oh well, I think Kroger's got this. Bronson just wins from here, right? And then it
Right.
gets frozen, and I'm like, oh my god,
Fragments was right.
how
This
does he do it?
Yeah, Fragments was right. This was a game of all time. And yeah, nothing much more to be said. But what the hell, Charm?
Yeah, I mean 8 freezes. I think it's maybe 9 turns. I can't really remember, but like 8 or 9 turns of just being frozen solid, like really hurts.
He failed to thaw in those amount of turns. Like, Jesus.
I don't know what like the odds are on unfreeze. Maybe like 10% chance each turn to unfreeze, but that's definitely the longest I've seen of someone just not unfreezing.
Very unfortunate. Next up, we got Axertix versus Starreal. Now, this game was pretty evenly paced, I would say. Both players kind of played very consistently. It's just chalking up to Bombardier and Sandaconda versus, well, Rotom versus the Dunsparce with Bombardier and Sandaconda support. That was basically what this game uh, chalked down to.
Accurate.
Acrotex only picked up the win with the Electros by paralyzing Scyther at a very crucial time, thunder punching pretty much everything else in order to win.
Yeah, like it'd be one thing if it was like the discharge, but like, damn, it got parried from Thunder Punch.
But they were very unfortunate, and yeah, that basically what killed it for Sturreal. Acrotex picked up the win after that.
Did Axertix play better? Do you think?
Yeah, again, it was Rotom versus the Dunsparce. He played okay against Sturreal. Not too good, but not too bad. It was just
Yeah, I think Actress played it pretty well. I mean, you can just tell, like, they just had so many like win cons still in the back that I think even if they didn't get like paralyzed, um, they still had like a really good chance of just cleaning house with things like Toxicroak and like Cypher, Terra Ground. Like, um, yeah, I don't know. I think Actress just had like a better hold on this game. Like, he always has something to fall back on.
Toxicroak didn't even need to come out for this. God damn.
right, and that ultimately like soured the taste for Port Sturreal here. All right, next up we got Danny versus Dugza in PU. Now, Danny tried,
Which I think was expected.
which was expected, you said.
I said that didn't go as expected.
Ah, well, Danny tried to pressurize early on by going for blizzards, but missing consecutive turns really hurt his stride, and his Rotom Frost just became useless after the fact.
You can't rely on blizzards.
No.
I mean,
Rotom
it's
Frost.
still
That's
Team
why Rotom
Charm,
Frost is like
then you
one
can
of the
definitely
lower
do
tier
that. But
mons. Yeah. This game had Quillfish once again as the MVP. Seems like Quillfish is getting a lot of MVPs in these games. Where it used Bar Barrage very well. After hazards, it was able to use Bar Barrage and poisoning a lot of Danny's mons.
Barbarage is kind of OP, not gonna lie.
It really is. It's a
I mean, it's
better
basically
Venom.
like a TCG move, which is just like in single player for some reason.
It's really good. It's really strong. It's a better Venoshock, basically. Um,
Yeah,
And can we talk about the end game?
yeah, this end game was Go-Goat versus Go-Goat, basically. Until Doug says Go-Goat crit Danny's with the Rock Slide.
I think Doug says still won the game in the long run. His go-go over Danny's go-go. I mean, since Danny's was poisoned.
Yeah, Danny's was uber crippled.
yeah. I mean, the flinches really didn't help though. But
Mm.
yeah, like I don't know. It's always like when you have bulk of wars, it's really just who crits first matters.
Right, and
Yeah,
that's basically what this game chalked it down to. You summarized it pretty well there, Rasche. It was just who gets the crit first, and ultimately Douglas just did.
Yeah, even though I don't think it mattered, because, like, again, non crippled Go-Go versus crippled Go-Go.
Right. If it had rest, then that would just change things. But yeah, it was just basically that. Next up, though, we LC, we got Ace Growlithe versus Loki Fan. What am I saying here? Ace Hunter versus
Growlithe?
Loki Fan. I had my notes wrong. Okay. Uh, Ace Hunter versus Loki Fan, where Growlithe Hisui missed. Well, the game first started with Growlithe Hisui missing a 5-hit Rock Blast combo, which would have prevented Surskit from getting webs up.
Well, you can't expect to hit 5 times.
It's not skill link, but it would have been nice though.
It would have been nice, but too unlikely.
Makuhita was
I mean, I think forcing Tara is sort of like a big thing as well, though. Like from the Sasuke.
yeah, that was also a thing. Like the force Terra Ghost really did help matters for Loki fan. So then this game had one particular mon that I was interested in, which is Makuhita, which was kind of a strange mon to bring when you're looking from the outside. From the inside, it looks pretty damn strong because it has two really good abilities to take out potentially all of Loki fans' mons. First off, the thick fat to tank the flare blitzes, but it also had rest talk, which made me think, is it really thick fat or is it guts?
I'm pretty sure it's thick fat because, well, yeah, it helps against the Growlithe.
But it
Oh
don't have
yeah, for
rest
sure.
talk.
Like it didn't take that much from Flare Blitz.
Yeah,
Growlithe is everywhere in LC right now, so I feel like you just want Thick Fat just for the
Right,
defense against Growlithe.
right. And yeah, Growlithe is just one really strong mon in LC right now. Just basically the top mon. Critting Toad School by a gunk shot was pretty lucky on Loki's end. Just getting rid of the Toad Scroll, getting rid of the hazard removal, the rapid spinner, if you will. End game, we saw the end game
did
here.
that crit matter? Where was that crit?
I believe it was turn. What turn was it? It was around. It was around the time. Well, it was around the time Toad Scroll died. No.
Uh,
Turn 20 something.
29. Are we sure that crit actually mattered?
Nah, probably not. Shroodle's been very useful lately. Well, lately, as in, like, it's very good in, like, piloting around against, certain mons with absolute who has a pretty good matchup against it, especially the Toad Squirrel. But yeah,
Anyways, can we talk about the silly endgame?
the silly end game, which we saw Shroodle's copycat versus Poniard's sucker punch. Why? Was it? Was
Yeah,
it?
I mean, it's definitely an interesting interaction because of how like Prankster works. Like you actually can't get the hit off. But obviously they really need to like drain out all of Pawniard's sucker punches. So, I guess it kinda worked.
Yeah, I guess that was the
But yeah,
strat
it's
that
always gonna
the
be
Loki fan wanted because copycat against 8 sucker punches really doesn't do well. But yeah, he got the 50-50 on at turn 37, which was the end of the game. He got the Iron Head on and ultimately won.
yeah, I'm not even sure if like our Gothita could have cleaned up after just because like knockoff would do so much damage, but yeah, it's a good win. Like Ace Hunter's like really reliable in LC.
Very reliable, especially
even if
What's
they bring things like
his record right now? You say reliable, but what's his
I think they're
record?
4-2. Like maybe better, honestly. I actually can't remember
Uh,
their losses.
hold up. Let me check. Oh yeah, 4-2 actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah, pretty reliable. Better than everyone would have
they've had a
expected from
good they've
Ace.
had a good BLT.
All right, next up, Akaru Kokyo versus Zern. Oh, this game was very fun to watch. Um, especially because of this beginning, where it had Terragrass Diancie dominating for pretty much the first part of this game, just having Diamond Storm plus Body Press to dish out damage until it got burned.
Yeah. By was it
I think it was a
what was the burn by? A heat wave?
yeah, I think it was Chiyu's Heat Wave.
Nope, it
Oh
was a
no, it was Walking.
flamethrower.
Oh yeah, it was Walking Wake's flamethrower that burned it. Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
is
I
that right?
remember watching
Yeah,
this
rip.
live.
Yeah,
I
it's
stopped watching after
unfortunate.
Dance had like +6 because I assumed that like the Dance was gonna just sweep. Like it just looked so dominating, but yeah, the burn really sucked.
The burn sucked, but Akaru still had the matchup won because Chiyu and Fluttermane was just so effective as a team, taking out Zern's other mons, as well as his own Chiyu and Fluttermane. It was kind of close that way, but Trick Room definitely helped, and having Walking Wake as the end game, perfection for Akaru Kokyo.
Yep, I found it pretty funny at the end how right when Trick Room is about to expire, Zern protects both Mons, just as Akaru switches in both of his Mons, which now get the boost from which now get the speed boost from the sun. So now he's the faster so he's faster when Trick Room ends. I
Um,
saw them like, oh, Zern, I think you did a bit of an oopsie.
and he did kind of cost himself that game that hard with that
Although
protect
it was a
factor.
fair play, to be honest.
It was. It was. I'm not saying it's not. It definitely was. All right. Next up, we got Failbur versus JoJo. This was a funny game when you look at the chat.
Oh boy, the chat was chaos.
It was so chaotic because JoJo himself didn't realize that that he brought that Failbur brought a water team and thought, Urshifu's dark fighting. Maybe brought a dark team. No, it's freaking water.
Bruh, did you like not get that idea with the Toxapex, the Slowking, the
The
the other
Tatsugiri.
stuff on the team? It's very
The
clearly a
Tatsugiri should have
water
given it
team,
away. Like, yeah.
not
I don't know,
the
it could have some
Tatsugiri.
stuff,
Like,
yeah. There's like a Samurott that's like pot dark. Nothing else is pot dark, but
I get, yeah, only Samurott is part dark. Everything else
yeah.
is like pure water. Um,
If you ignore that though, you see where they're coming from.
so yes, Bloss, week 6 is too late to trade a player. You got JoJo in your party. Who doesn't know Urshifu is water Urshifu is a thing. So
yeah, yeah, that's a.
game itself was pretty not.
I don't know how we quite missed that.
Go ahead, go ahead.
What I said, what I said.
Oh, okay. So yeah, the game itself was pretty easy for JoJo. Terra Steel, his Terra Steel beats out Failbur's Terra Watermons. Um, he just swept Failbur with Golden Go, and Iron Shreds killing Toxapex, Klefki killing Urshifu. Heatran getting sacked by to Basculation. Like, what was even the point of sending it out if it was just gonna be sacked? Ah well, it's a water team against Fire Heatran. It all makes sense. Yeah, nothing much else to say about this game. It's just The funny. It's just the funny chat. Look at it. It's just funny chat.
Yeah, I mean, Jojo obviously doesn't know his tights, but you know, he can play a mean game of Pokemon when he wants to. So, I mean, I don't know if it hurts more to lose to him, or... but yeah, he definitely played this decently.
All right.
I feel bad for Failbur because the chat was kind of dunking on him a little. They're just like, bro, this is making JoJo look good. Can you start trying?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, but
I
no,
get
it's
what
good
you
that
mean.
he can like fall back into saying that he just wasn't trying hard enough. Like
Ah.
we have that nice little defense.
Ah well. And
Anyway, you know, maybe put Jojo in something that's not monotype.
But yeah, Golden Go just killed everything.
yeah, match itself was pretty golden go heavy. That was pretty much it. All right. Final set for week 6. We got the Sunny Shore Snorlaxes finally picking up a win over a pretty dominant team in the Pangoros. 6-4. Finally, the
What do you
Snorlaxes.
mean, finally?
I mean, finally they showed some dominance, I guess.
Um, well, it's not like this is their only win.
No, no.
Yeah, but I mean, we can't
They,
say they've been dominant.
yeah, they can't. I can't say they've been dominant in the BLT season itself, but in this particular series, yeah, they were kind of dominant actually. Like first off, in this first game, we got Starmaster versus Ciro Napoli, which was a completely short match, but it just really was an indicator of who's the better player. And yes, Starmaster definitely showed his gripes and is the better player overall here. Just completely outplaying Ciro Napoli. Like
Yeah,
Like there's the Terra Ice Sandy Shocks that was able to withstand an earthquake for the Terra Blast kill. There was Substitute Walking Wake, despite being on cord, was able to deal enough damage to kill Golden Go and Terrafire Dragon Knight. Like there were a couple of instances where Napoli is like, oh okay, for example the Iron Moth, but it was just really Star Master's game from here on out.
yeah, Starmaster just played better. It was just a case of being outplayed and outmatched.
Next up was Zoroark versus Fat Batman, which was unfortunate because Zoroark missed the time and Fat Batman was given the act win. So Fat Batman is 3-0 in BLT.
Yeah, I
In
mean, a really dominant
Yep.
performance right there. Like
such a cursed
showing up on
time
time, I
run.
guess, really pays off.
Like he beat Kebab, he beat Avadis, and now he's beating Zoroark. Alright, next up, Ubers. We got who Genius from Hoenn versus Velvet, which was one of the games where I actually got it right over y'all last week.
Yes, only one of how many games?
3, 5, I don't know. Um,
Oh, not 5.
I don't know. But yeah, this was a long game, a very stally centric game. Hoenn used Dondozo for unaware effectiveness against hazards and using hazards pretty well. Velvet just ended up getting crippled of her standard bulky
Did you
team.
say unaware effectiveness against hazards?
Oh no, I said unaware. Oh, let me rephrase. Unaware effectiveness and used hazards effectively.
Yes, better because the way you said before didn't make sense.
Velvet ended up just getting crippled of her standard bulky team, even with the choice tricking Corviknight and the Terra Fairy Koraidon, which were nice brings. It just felt crippled by the end because Genius from Hoenn just kind of played stall and stalled better. Nothing much else to say.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thing is, Velvet's team had a very poor matchup. It wasn't winnable.
It wasn't. It wasn't. And Genius from Hoenn exploited that to a long, long series. But ultimately picked up the win.
Yeah, well, that's how the cookie crumbles if it's a stall game.
Speaking of stall games, next up in Yo-Yo Land, we got Slip versus Spitfire. What do you think, Rasche? How has stall been well? How is stall in Yu?
So it's not too bad. I think recently Blissey got healed back, which is pretty big because before this, like, once something got statused on your team that's not Blissey, it's basically permanently statused. But yeah, now obviously you have the ability to not get statused. Another big boom for stall teams is that Quagsire as well is able to toxic and use T spikes, which you can kind of see that Spitfire brought here. Like, there's no grounded poison. There aren't any good grounded poisons in UU right now. There's
Oh
like
no.
Gengar, but Gengar's like, yeah, Gengar's kind of walled by Zoroark, and like Psychozart is like really good right now as well. So
Yep.
it's harder to use. So yeah, like a lot of teams just don't have grounded poison, and you can kind of see that Slip is really struggling. Um, because
Except if
you
you're
have
like
to let
boots
Psychozar get
heavy.
toxic.
Yeah, except if you're like boots heavy, then you could have absolutely countered the toxic spikes. But otherwise, if you're running
Oh yeah,
normal, it's just you can't really deal well against toxic spikes in general.
yeah. I think it's really tough when you're going against like stall as well, because like you're going to get hit by like Tinkerton knockoffs over the course of a game. But, like even if you are boots, it's like really hard to like outlast the stall team when they can keep taking away your items and
That's another
making you
thing.
like weaker to the T spikes.
That's another thing. The item breaking. It's definitely a big factor when it comes to these particular stall games, and this one's no exception. Like this was an interesting stall game. Spitfire kind of just stalled out Slip well, using the hazards and the poison to good use. Slip trying to break to to his very best to break it, using low kicks as a premier wall breaker, using Terra Bug and Leaf
Yeah,
Spike. But Slowbro being Terra fighting, just being very bulky, managing to resist its bug moves very well, and he just generally had a really hard time.
yeah. I mean, when you're relying on things like low kicks against stall to break stall, it's just not gonna work. Like low kicks just isn't that kind of mon which can
Yeah,
like
low
break
kicks
big holes
needs
into
like
stall.
heavy
Yeah.
support in order to really be a true wall breaker.
Like we weren't. I don't think they were choice banned. Yeah, they were like SD. So like Quagsire was always going to be like a big nuisance. And
Yeah,
obviously the poison's not going to help because like Yordi are low kicks with like zero longevity. Like the
true,
toxics just going to make it 10 times worse.
true. So yeah, that was basically the gist of this game. Spitfire, very long. It's a very long watch. If you do decide to watch it, it's a very long trek. But Spitfire out slowly but surely, methodically crippling Slip to a full of potential there. Nothing much else.
Yeah,
Nothing much
I
else
mean,
to
I
say.
think it did actually come down to one crit though, in the end game, just because if the Slowbro did fall, Tanner Flame and like Quagsire could technically be beaten by Sunday Sharks, but it's
Mm, true.
yeah, it was always going to be really tough.
It's all.
Micoy, I think you're getting echo.
Mm,
I'm
there you go.
hearing.
All right. Next up, we got Elfusion versus Just Franco. All right, this game.
Was it a
Hmm?
question who would win this?
Ouch. And you say I'm the harsh one against Elfuson. well,
I
this
just don't think it was a question.
this game was odd to say the least. Terra Water Mudsdale was just very used very effectively to wall Cloister, taking its surf well, got to +6 thanks to stamina and rock blast, missing the next turn for the body press kill, basically. Revavroom going for a gunk shot after setting up on turn 11 really hurt Elfuson's momentum. As he would have benefited from doing Iron Head instead. Why did he go for gunk shot? Like against just Franco's own Revavroom. If he had had that, then he would have outsped the Revavroom twice in order to get a 2-hit KO on the Revavroom and maybe sweep everything else. But it's a very dicey.
Um, well, Micoy, are you forgetting that the Barraskewda is what was in?
No, turn 11. Like, he switched into. Well, he could have outpredicted. There's always a possibility he could have outpredicted. Like, he could. Well, maybe he could have gone for Passimian.
There's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee.
Also, if he's going for Simeon, then Gunshot is the right move here.
Again, just going straight up for Gong Shot. I didn't fully agree with that play, especially when Revavroom is still alive.
Yeah, but like again, that's only if you predict it.
Like, look,
And I guess he didn't predict it.
yeah, he didn't predict it well. He even killed Mudsdale thanks to an earlier gunk shot. Like over here, turn 14, he killed it with another gunk shot. Terra Flying, Thunder Punch, Iron Thorns became a pretty solid threat for a bit until it got too low thanks to hazards and poison enough for the Aqua Jet kill.
Yeah, rip.
Ultimate end up winning. Next one, we got Ziri versus Pop. Wesh bringing a pretty.
Oh wait, did you not? I don't think you.
The what?
You didn't actually say how the Ophuson Franco game ended, did you?
Well, it was just the crocodile going up against the Florges. That was it. And then Barraskewda ended up
And
killing it
Thor just
anyway.
moonblasted it to death. Yes.
Yes, that's it. Next up, Pop versus Ziri. Now, Pop brought a pretty funny team. It was grassy terrain with grassy seed for
Yeah.
almost all of his mons.
Well,
I really like
it's
the
a
team
thing.
that Pat brought.
Like,
It's a fun team. It's a fun, brainless team.
it's it is brainless. That's the perfect way to describe it.
I want to say that you're wrong, but you're just so right. Like, it's literally just like you come in, you set up, you hope that you kill something, and then you go to the next set of mon and try to do the same thing.
It just relies on
Yeah,
setup.
that's just how terrain offense works.
Yeah. The Dunsparce led off well
I
with a
mean, like,
rattled
it
set.
almost worked.
Yeah. The Dunsparce led off well with a rattled set, just seeming to go for an early knockout win. That's it for Wesh. But Appleton was just very bulky, able to take hits very well. Well, in fact, Sneasel was the MVP, having Trailblaze for speed and Terra Dark to ward off any psychic attacks that Farigarath may have had. It was just a consistent win there. Drift Blim came very close to turning the game in favor of Pap, hoping to get a Shadow Ball crit on the Sneasel for the win. But you mentioned, Pokeart, that Sneasel, I know, Drift Blim couldn't really do anything against the Sneasel except for Strength Sap.
Strength Sap and Shadow Ball, and yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
So all Ziri needed to do was All Zero needed to do was keep the Sneasel healthy, which was doable because like it was leech seeding thanks to the Appleton.
Mm-hmm.
And like now like imagine how much health that Sneasel is receiving from a what I assume is a pretty invested HP Drifblim.
Yes. I was wondering, like, when is he gonna get that crit against the Sneasel in order to get himself some sort of leverage towards the end game, but just didn't happen.
He didn't. He simply did not. You either crit or you don't crit.
And Ziri was fortunate enough to not get critted. Seems to be running
Yeah.
good.
Also, despite the Drifblim being Terra Electric, its only attacking move seemed to be Shadow Ball. Wait, no, it was Shadow Ball and Volt. It
Stored
did have
power.
another move.
Stored power.
Ah, yeah. So it could not hit the. It could really not really. It couldn't really hit the Sneasel at all.
Nope.
Not after Terra Darking.
Nope, not at all. Next, so Ziri picked up the win there. Next up, Yes or No My Dude versus Medaya. Houndoom was a very effective mon in this meta, if I do say so myself. Like, it killed Tinkatuff early, so no hazards being set up in the face of Yes or No My Dude. Able to flinch Dark Tricks, and using Sucker Punch later on, using Sucker Punch against Yes or No's own Houndoom to pick up that kill. Um, there was also Terra fighting Miss Drevis, who was able to catch Quillfish's crunch and ended up crippling it with Will-O-Wisp. Overall, though, kind of a well played game by Medaya. Yes or No, my dude couldn't really handle how much attacking power that Medaya had left in his mons, and it just ultimately played better. Medaya ended up playing better.
Which I expected as much.
Yeah, Medaya's good. Like now,
Yeah, like
I can now say
being slaughtered around in all of these different tiers and like consistently doing decent to good. I think that's pretty good.
very consistent, you would say. Next up, Vinny the Winnie versus Drifting. Let's talk about this game. Holy crap, this game.
You were a little surprised when you heard the result.
Drifting started off the better, fortunately. Outplaying Vinny, getting the rocks and the web set up and good use. Zoroa ended up being a good spin blocker. That's a good sign for things to come for Drifting. Terra Flying Stunky just also being put to very good use, especially against the Mudbray. But Drifloon came in and just became a total game changer. Using Terra Fighting to good use, dodging Growlithe head smash to 2-hit KO it, Thunderbolting Zoroa to kill it. And then towards the end game, we saw the discharge on the Crabrawler paralyzing it, and Vinny's Grookie killing Sandile. So overall, how would you say about Vinny's LC right now?
I
Well,
mean,
Micoy,
he did
I
pretty
think I
good.
want to hear that opinion from you because you're the one who was so critical of him before.
I was. So I thought Vinny was gonna suck through this game, to be completely honest. But I guess he had just a good enough support uh for this game, especially because Gawain is on his team. So I think like that particular support helped Vinny in the long run and, actually improving in LC.
What does
Doing
Wayne being on his team have to do with
because
anything?
Gawain is good
Wayne's
in
pretty good at
LC.
LC. Yeah.
Gawain is
But
actually
that
pretty
happened
good
like
at
what,
Elsie.
like last week or something with Elsie.
All
So he knows what he's
right.
doing at least.
Which is a
Like
surprise. You'd never hear me
playing or
say that.
building wise.
You never see me that
I mean,
hear me
why not
that
both?
anywhere, but yeah, Gawain is just good at Elsie.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
All right. Next up, penultimate game time. We got SMB, who has a 1-3 record going into this, versus Keanu VGC, whose first opponent, Sableye My Bay. Unfortunate does not begin to describe the meaning of Keanu in this game.
Yeah, people are saying my first opponent was unfortunate. No, this is worse.
This is worse. um, SMB strong start, killing Samurott Hisui immediately with Woodhammer, right through Reflect, which was very unfortunate for Keanu, as he kind of needed Samurott against the Heatran and especially Ursaluna over here, or Cresselia too, but to some extent. Speaking of the Cresselia, it actually Keanu's Cresselia actually looked kind of threatening. Tanking hits well, setting up nicely with Calm Mind. Was able to freely Ice Beam, especially even killing the Grass Terra Heatran
Yeah, with a crit, right?
with a crit, yes, but it still killed it, which put pressure on SMB just a little bit. Overall, people were kind of shitting on Keanu for his performance. I actually thought he brought it to a really close match.
It was a close match. In fact, since I didn't really know any better about the specifics of the sets, in the final turn, I wasn't sure who would win anymore.
Like the ending was that very close. Ursaluna and Cresselia just ended up saving SMB because he ally switched at turn 15, out predicting Keanu, and picking up that particular win. It was just that caught him off guard, and basically that in the end took him by surprise. Ultimately, SMB picked up that win. Very close, very
Yeah,
close.
yeah, but what actually won the game for S&B? It came down to Keanu's Flutter Mane, which I believe was choice locked into Shadow Ball, versus his no, and his Rillaboom versus S&B's Ursaluna and Palafin,
Oh, that's
which
very nice.
one would think this is this is pretty doable.
This is Keanu's
Like
win.
this is pretty doable for Genu. If the Fluttermane kills the Palafin, then the Rillaboom the Rillaboom can just kill the Ursaluna,
Hmm.
and or I was wondering, would SMB Jet Punch the Fluttermane, which would just outright kill it, and then pray that Rillaboom hits the Palafin so Ursaluna can kill the Rillaboom.
Maybe.
But nope, that didn't actually matter. There were no 50-50s like I thought there would be, because the Palafin actually just outright outsped the Rillaboom.
Which was very unfortunate for
So
Keanu.
the Palafin, yes. So the Palafin just outright goes for a wave crash and kills the Rillaboom. You don't see that every day.
Nope. Nope. But it was a
And
good enough
since the
range.
Fluttermane, yeah, oh yeah, but the Fluttermane did actually try to kill the Palafin, but I don't know if this was a roll. It did not kill.
Ouch. Maybe you got
Yeah,
lucky.
it was very close to killing. Uh, the Paladin was on. It was on 61. The Shadow Voltage 55.
Mm.
So, the Fluttermane, it goes for the Shadow Ball, attempting to kill the Paladin. It misses the kill, so Palafin, outspeeding the Rillaboom, and since Rillaboom doesn't have Grassy Glide anymore, which is
Ha ha.
stupid,
Ha ha. No more priority moves for you, Rillaboom.
Palafin just goes for yeah. Palafin just goes for the Wave Crash, kills the Rillaboom, and then you just have poor Fluttermane, who takes the full brunt of a headlong rush from Ursaluna.
Yep.
And
And
even if that didn't kill, Fluttermane can only use Shadow Ball.
yeah, it's choice locked, as you mentioned.
Yeah, so yeah, no 50-50s. SMB just actually won outright.
Mm.
Although I wonder if the Shadow Ball was a roll or not.
Probably. I don't know. Probably is, probably isn't. Who knows? And now, last game, we saw Felines versus Maroon. Now, this game was pretty neat. Felines bringing a Heat Iron Hand set, Substitute, Drain Punch, Ice Punch. I wish it had friggin'
Thunder Punch?
Thunder Punch, Ice Punch. Um, I
Thunder Punch, Ice Punch, Drain Punch?
yes, I believe so. Yeah. Yes, it
Yep,
actually has
that is actually the set. Yeah, it's just all it does is punch.
all it does is punch and sub, which
Although I don't quite understand how an Iron Hands can actually punch. Can't even close its hands to make a fist.
it's a robot. All things. It's a robot. Like, don't question the robotic Hariyama. Which I hope which I wanted to have Iron Fist at this situation.
Uh, yeah, yeah.
But there was a pretty crucial turn here. Zapdos dodge Zapdos no. Zapdos missed the Hurricane on the Iron Hands, which enabled the Ice Punch to just absolutely kill Zapdos, which he kinda needed. Which was very unfortunate for poor Maroon. Really couldn't have a worse fate other than that, especially because he was flying against fighting.
Yeah, but like
Fighting is
maybe flying versus fighting isn't such a one-sided matchup anymore because Iron Hands has been like so good into flying.
Yeah. Iron Hands is just a necessity if you're running fighting versus flying. Um, yeah. Ultimately, Felines just outclassed, played better, used Iron Valiant to ward off Dragonite, having rocks set up to his advantage. Iron Hands killing Moltres at a crucial sweeping point, and Sneasler just ended up got the end game.
Yeah, I think that was a Scarf Sneasler.
Yep, and yep, it was
Oh,
very
okay. So this end game was like 100% decided then. Good to know.
yeah, and that basically ended up winning for Felines. Very impressive. So, b- so
Yep.
that so that was week 6. Whoa, I almost said week 6 done. Uh, let's look at the spreadsheet before we get to predicting this final week, which I hope is updated. Because actually want to give the good people the standings, the accurate standings, before we head on to week 7.
About that. Oh wait. Oh wait, I think it's updated. It's
Yeah,
updated.
yay, it's updated. Okay, so things definitely have become close. Well, unfortunate for the bottom three teams. No, bottom two teams, which are the Laxus and the Iron Bundles. They're out. They're 100% out.
What?
Huh?
That's not who's listed at the bottom two. What are you
Oh,
talking about?
oh, sorry. I was looking at freaking differentials, not points. What am I doing? Anyway, Star Articunos and Iron Bundles, they're out 100%. They're complete. Like even if they could realistically
We're
win,
not 100% out.
are you sure about
We've
that?
talked about this.
Okay,
Yes, we talked about this.
okay.
Even the Kunos are not 100% out.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. How? Okay. How would you explain the freaking like point
Yeah,
scenario?
I'd actually want to hear the math here.
Okay. How would you guys explain the point scenario? Because I'm lost, so I can't clearly explain it. How about you guys do it?
Okay, here we go again. So, basically, if the what are the matchups again this week? Let me just look at that. Hold up. Okay, so let's see. If the Dirges beat the Kunos, uh, if we beat the Tropes, like at least 7-3 win. If the Rufflets beat the Laxes, I assume some of these wins have to be pretty dominant too. And if the Pangoros beat the Vishes, we could be in. It's not likely at all, but like that's
What? Oh,
actually a possible
Yeah, there's
scenario.
like one universe where you get into playoffs.
oh, and you two are playing each other this week too. Like Phantom Troop versus Iron Bundles.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it's. Oh man, how close would you have to be in order to win? A 7-3, you said? Uh,
I
differ
said a 7-3 win. Yes.
differentials is gonna be quite close.
Well, that's why it's got to be a 7-3 win, Micoy. That makes our differential better than like the Kunos and assuming the other teams, it would actually make our differential better than a lot of theirs.
All right, and what about you, Rasche? What do you need in order to make playoffs?
Well,
He
I
needs
mean,
less than us, that's for sure.
yeah, it's a lot simpler. So, I believe we need the Pangoros to beat the Fishes. I mean, at the very least, just tie them. But obviously, a win would 100% put us through. And then for the Rufflets to lose against the Laxes, yeah, is also like another like win con. But like that also comes down to like differential because
Micoy,
the
you're
ships have a
echoing.
very good differential.
What?
Nothing. You're not echoing anymore.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
all right,
it's only
so
when I'm speaking, unfortunately.
so well, I can pretty much are we basically saying confirm that the Pangoros and the Dirges are pretty much in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rufflets.
So I believe the Dirges are technically not guaranteed. I'd be shocked if they weren't in.
Oh, I'd be shocked
I
if
mean,
they
I
weren't
guess
in
maybe if
either.
they lose like 10-0 and like scrap their differential,
Right, right.
they could maybe lose, but I don't know.
Their differentials, their performances in the past couple of like, I'd say, yeah, week 5 is really the only thing that dragged them down. But otherwise, their performances is just as good. Well, worse off than the Pangoros because the Pangoros have a pretty great season. Chargers are trailing behind. Yeah, pretty good season. Like they bounced back heavily in week 6 after a pretty crushing loss in week 5, and they've just been consistent everywhere else. That was pretty nice. Bufflets, they're definitely in the position. They're definitely in a very good position right now. As after having such strong weeks in weeks 5 and 6, I wouldn't be surprised if they made playoffs because historically Raj teams have been pretty good. And the dress.
Yeah, the Rufflets have won a previous BLT, so that should speak for it.
Yeah, and it's all at the helm of Raj Shoot. So I said, yeah, that's why I said Raj teams are very good. Um, as far as the Dragovicius and the Phantom Trout, you're gonna have to pull off some dominant wins in order to uh get their position and get their differential high enough. And the Laxus and the Bundles, and the Kunos need really dominant wins in order to get that win and get remotely a shot at playoffs.
So, a 7-3 win for us is not looking great right now.
Well, before that, we must talk about the predictions because last week, guess who's back? Two-time champion, Poker 2004 has won predictions.
Um, are you actually going to like elaborate on what actually happened and not stretch the truth a little there, or?
All right, you guys tied, right?
Yes, it was a tie between me and special guest Floor.
With how many wins? 23?
You're a little low.
Ah,
Okay, so I will reveal the standings. In third place was Micoy with only 19 correct predicts.
break half. That's just how bad my predicts went last week.
Yeah, you didn't have a good week. You got a lot of ones really on.
Oh,
And
play my
me
cards
and
right.
me and Stitch just got like all of the early ones right. Like Stitch was literally 100% on predicts for the first 13 games.
Yep. No one has ever had that streak before. 13-0.
You know. Yeah. And for me, no, for me, I was in a similar spot for a lot of it. Though I was usually trailing a little bit behind at times. But yeah, we tied at the end. So in first place, both in
Technically,
first
joined.
place
Joined first place.
and Floor, both with 26 correct predicts apiece.
So right now, I would say the championship belt is between. It's a co-champion situation. If you ever watch wrestling, you have a co-champions being defended, and so this one says week 7 must determine. There can only be one true champion, and let's see who wins here in week 7. All right. First off,
Wait, before we go into predicts,
what?
is that what we're about to do?
Hmm?
Are we about to start predicting?
Yes, we are. No time, no haste. Let's go. Predict.
But
Oh, I'm
I
gonna
was
be
gonna
predicting.
ask if
No.
I was
I'm
gonna
gonna.
ask if I could if we could break for
Oh.
dinner.
Oh. Okay. Break.
So I have to do it now.
And we're back. All right. So let's not waste any more time and let's predict. First up, we got the Flame Slinger Skeleturgis versus the Anistar Articunos. First off, we got Balor versus Crying. So, how do you feel about this
Okay,
matchup?
Belor won last week, but as I was saying, Belor won last week, but crying is crying. Or wait, no, crying isn't crying. It's because crying is crying that that they're just better and win. Crying
Oh,
is not crying because they're gonna lose. No,
oh dear
tears of
God.
victory.
Rasche, who did you predict?
I think I went with Balor.
You
Not.
went for
I
What?
think
Balor.
it's just because. I think it's because. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like crying's gonna bring some heat. and maybe it doesn't work. I,
I mean,
I'm gonna change my mind though, but I think I'm gonna stick with Balor.
oh,
They won SPL.
okay.
They're good.
Interesting. That's an interesting predict there. I think I'm gonna go with Valor has upset people before, but I don't think it's enough to outmatch Crying. So yeah, I think this is a pretty safe Crying bet. Uh,
Yep.
that's all right. Next up, SVOU. We got My Java versus Avarice. All right,
I
Pokemon.
think my Java.
My Java. So, Rasche, who did you pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with my Java as well.
Ooh, all right. So both.
Doesn't look like she actually picked anyone for this,
Yeah,
so he's just
I
going with
left
what
it
I said.
blank, but because like I know they're both playing in World Cup,
They are.
and I was like,
Interesting.
maybe they want to like save strats, but I think my Java is like the more experienced SVOU player.
That's fair. That's fair. But also, Avarice is like,
And in general, he's just very good in OU.
yep,
Yeah,
my Java is very good in OU, but I still gotta go with my gut here and go for Avarice. Like, my Java's good, but comparatively speaking, I think Avarice is just a little bit better, and certainly the performances doesn't like reflect that. Like, Avarice has lost a freaking fat Batman before, but I I think
but Fat Batman's undefeated. Don't talk shit.
but yeah, I think this is still a pretty safe bet, and I think Avarice should win. Not say won't be surprised if my Java wins, but for the predictions, I think I'm going Avarice.
Well, okay.
Betting man instinct, no, not really. SV Ubers, we got Fogbound Lake versus Aberforth. Who do you guys got?
Uh, Bobman's been doing pretty good, so hmm. Um, what's Fog Balance record? 3-2,
3 and
and
2.
Aber is 4-2. Yeah,
Okay.
I think that settles it. I'll go Aber.
Rashay, who did you pick?
I think I'm an Aberforth as well.
All right.
He's just a really solid US player. I don't know.
Micoy, you're echoing.
Hmm? What did you pick, Bogart?
Oh, your
You're
mic's echoing.
echoing.
Oh, I'm echoing. Oh, shoot. All right. So, yeah, I think we're all in agreement here. I think Aberforth has just generally been the more consistent player of the two, even though Fogbound Lake has been doing decently in recent weeks. I think Aberforth is just a little bit better. Well, actually, no, a lot better than Fogbound Lake.
A lot?
I don't know. I just found Fogbound Lake to be like 2 tiers below Aberforth in terms of Ubers.
Dang. I will say this. I just hope Aber doesn't get MU'd.
Hope so. Not again, just like last week. Ugh. All right.
No,
SVUU.
no, I'm more like referring to the matching game. That was bad.
Not that. Oh no, we're not gonna get that level of crap. SVUU. We got Just Drew versus Yavitu. Who do you guys got?
Is this a question?
Who do you got, Rashay?
I think I put Drew. Like he's just a better player. I think in this regard. I mean, yeah, and Javi's just off a loss, so
Okay, so Pokert, I think we know who are we going with.
Yeah, I don't think I need to remind anyone here, but Drew was undefeated until last week.
Yeah, 5-1, pretty solid record. Yeah, Drew wins.
Yep.
Next up, SVRU. We got Tear Acid versus Some Thug. Huh. What do you guys think?
Yeah, see, I wouldn't predict for Tear Acid most of the time, but I'm predicting for Tear Acid.
Alright. Rasche, who do you think?
I went with Terra as well. Like they're a pretty good like all rounder player, and I think they know RU pretty well as well. So I
Yeah.
just feel like it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
Also, Some Thug isn't not terribly good.
Whoa, okay, wow, that's a bit of a
Ooh,
shock to hear you say that. Subthug I think is actually pretty. He's all right. He's all right. He's not bad. He's not that bad. But yeah, I think victory over Ars 9, even though it was pretty shitty that he won in the way that he did. Tear Acid I think is generally the better player. So yeah, we have to go for Tear Acid for this one.
Yeah, that makes sense.
SVNU, we got Tonki versus Shiloh. All right. Who do you got, Poke Art?
Shiloh hasn't been doing so well, actually. And Toki has been doing very well, and most likely knows the tier and all of its ins and outs and calcs and sets much better.
All right. So I think that's a Tonki predict, right?
Yep, yep. I think Toki wins.
Rashay?
Why do
yeah,
you
same
say
here.
Toki?
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I was went Taki. They just know the tip better. Like
Okay, so yeah, I think we're all in agreement. I think Shiloh, oh, Shiloh being slotted in NU seems weird to me. Like for someone who's primarily known for being like OU player, who has done pretty well in OU in the past, NU just seems like a downgrade, honestly. While Toggy, just a goated NU player. Like you have to go for Toggy in this situation.
Yeah.
All right, SVPU. We got Tilenet versus Los Shoto, a highlight match.
Oh, as much as I have been predicting in favor of Losco these last few weeks, I can't predict against Telenet in PU.
And Rashay, who do you think?
yeah, I went with Let's Go.
What?
It's my gut feeling.
I
Intriguing.
mean,
like
I
I feel like
understand that, but like this is against Telenet.
yeah, I know he's good, but Luska's got that like I feel like he has it. I don't know why.
I would like to agree in favor of Rashay here because I think Losco has got that unpredictable
Yeah,
factor. I think Losco, if he does well in other weeks, I think he'll do well this week. And Tilenet, despite being goaded in PU, what's his record right now? Like very positive, I'd say.
Uh, what team is he on again?
There it is.
he's on Sturgis.
He's 4-1.
And Losco is.
Yeah, 5-1. So
Wait, really?
yeah, he's actually killing it. Wow.
Tilenet's killing it.
Wow, his only loss was to Ryuji?
Yeah. Yeah, 4-1 versus 5-1. That's interesting. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Losco as well. Like
Y'all
Losco's
are
just
favoring Losco for his unpredictability, but I think you're forgetting that Telena is equally as unpredictable, if
I
not
think
more unpredictable.
more unpredictable. No, I can't agree with that.
Yes, he's the dude who brought the Ganlon Berry Quiver Dance Rest Tuck Lillian. What the heck you mean?
What? That was only one game against West Papillon. Meanwhile, Losco has been unpredictably playing well, switching out and doing a couple of great turns in his games. T-Leonard kind of just plays pretty standardly. Even though he builds good whack teams, he just kind of plays standard.
Y'all are gonna regret thinking Glowsco this time around. It's too goaded.
Losco is too goaded. I counteract that. Alright, next up, SVLC. Greedy EB versus Gorex. Alright, guys. Pokera, what do you think?
I think Gorex. Not gonna lie.
Interesting. I thought you would go greedy in this situation.
Nah, I've seen that Greedy has not actually been doing so hot.
Even though he won last week?
He won last week, but like,
It was a decent
he's
win.
not
It
been
was a
doing
decent
very.
win.
It was. It's not that it was a bad win. It was a fine win. I'm just saying overall, he hasn't actually been doing super well, has he?
Yeah, I think he beat Ace, and that
He
was
did.
his only other win.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, he's 2-4 right now.
Ouch, that's harsh. Gorex, meanwhile, has what record?
Gorex, he's 4-2.
Yeah, alright. Rasche, who did you think?
Yeah, I think I went with Gorex just because I don't know, like Greedy is like an up and comer player, like, and he just hasn't been having the best season. So, like, or Gorex is like just more familiar with the tier, or like he's more of a like an more of a veteran, so he's just less likely
Yeah, I
to chuck
agree.
this one away. I think.
I agree. Like Gorex has absolutely been killing it. Greedy, even though he's a player with a lot of hype going into SVLC, has just not been doing the best. Has been kind of failing in a pretty stacked pool. Where you think that Greedy, just knowing all of this Gen 9, having this Gen 9 hype behind him, he's just kind of lost in the shuffle when it comes to, all the hackers and all the Gorexes in the world. So yeah, Gorex should win here as well.
There's more than one hacker in Gorex?
Gorex. Oh, are you calling him out? Is this a call out?
Micoy, you're the one who just said all the hackers and Gorexes in the world.
I was saying it metaphorically and you took it there. You took it there, woman.
Maybe you shouldn't have said it.
Anyway, SVDOU, we got Chris Numbers versus Tayo.
Oh, Tayo.
Yep, Tayo's competing in the Anastar Articuno spot instead of who's their Devils player? You
Faye.
hmm? Oh, Faye, yeah.
Faye.
Yeah, Faye versus Chris Numbers actually sounds hype, but yeah, Tayo's gonna get his shot now. So who do you think, Pokeyard?
I think Tayo.
Mm. What do you think, Rashay?
Well, I mean, Chris hasn't actually won. Hasn't actually won yet. So, like, just based on
Tayo
that, I'm
has,
gonna
I
go
think.
Tayo. Yeah, Tayo's won like one game versus XRN.
Yeah,
So
it was the only game he played and he won.
Yeah,
he's basically undefeated then. So I'm just gonna go like
Exactly.
odds here.
I want Chris Numbers to win. He's been doing good in doubles OU despite never winning. He built some pretty good teams and can actually take it into like pretty good games against a really stacked doubles pool. He's just never won a game. He just doesn't have that it factor that a lot of doubles players has. I'm gonna predict Chris here for the contingency of it. Maybe, just maybe, this is his first win.
Apparently Tayo did like really good in VGCPL from what I heard.
Oh, did he? Ouch. Should have noted that. But yeah, I think Chris needs a win, and I think this is his opportunity. Go, Chris. Please. Just pick up that win.
I think Tayo's just better. I'm sorry.
SV Monotype. Seru versus Royal Reloaded. Actually, highlight match.
No, no, I see what you mean. I can see the highlight.
I'm hyped for this matchup. What do you think, Pokeart?
Hmm. This is a tough one, actually. I feel like they're pretty equal. What do you
I
think?
know, right? I know, right? What do you think, Rasche?
I think I put Royal, but like it can honestly go either way. I think Royal's just he definitely has more to prove because like I believe this is like he's like an up and coming player
That's
in the
fair.
mono community. So like yeah, he definitely wants to have a point to prove here, and
Both
his record's pretty good. So yeah,
Yeah, both mono BLT and mono in BLT. Royal's got a lot to prove, and yeah, I wouldn't. And yes, you are absolutely right. This can go either way because it's monotype. I honestly think, I think I'm gonna go with Seru, even though they're both equal. You're right, Pokeart. They're both equal in skill, like exactly the same. I think Seru's got more of an edge though, so I think I'm gonna go with him.
Oh, you're going with Sarah and Rashi's going with Royal. I
And
think
you?
I'll go with Royal too.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Next up is the Phantom Trout against the Iris Path Iron Bundles. I
Hey
already,
Rashay, it's us.
yeah, it's you versus you. So I'm,
yeah, I
so my predicts matter because because Riche, I think you're gonna go with all your teammates on this one, right?
yeah.
And Pokeyard, you're gonna go with all your teammates on this one, right?
No comment.
Well, okay, my predicts matter then in the end. Ha! Alright. SVOU. Lax versus One Last Kiss. Interesting matchup, this one. This is honestly, if it goes well, this may be my personal favorite matchup. Because both are astoundingly good in SVOU. It's interesting to see, but I think I'm gonna go with One Last Kiss. Like,
Whoa.
I think One Last Kiss is
Most
a
would
lot.
consider that the upset.
That's an upset.
Yeah, I think that's insane. I think that's insane personally. Considering it's lack.
Honestly,
Like
cause
I'm biased, but it's lax. Like
like there may be bias to it because I really like One Last Kiss's performances. Lax plays a lot more standard, which I like, and if in any other case, I wouldn't blame people for actually going with Lax because I think Lax is goaded, like one of the best OU players you could have gotten. So, and you're pretty safe there. But One Last Kiss just has that certain edge to him. He's got that special spark that enables him to like outperform people in this game. I battled against him and I couldn't win against him, not even once. So yeah.
How many times did you battle him?
Huh?
How many times did you battle him? You said you couldn't win once.
Yeah, I couldn't. I must have battled him like maybe a couple tens of games in Tor's room, but I just couldn't win against the guy.
Ten?
Tens of games. I said tens and tens of games. No, not hundreds of games. I couldn't win. I just couldn't win against One Last Kiss, so I have to go with One Last Kiss here.
I personally think it's a bit of a weird thing to base it off of your own personal experience
I've
in
battled Lax
tours
as
when you're
well.
not so
Like,
much of a.
I mean, I've battled Lax as well, and he's pretty good, but I just think One Last Kiss is better. All right.
Okay. Well, we know what Roche's saying, and allow me to say that on paper, I'm a little torn. I believe in One Last Kiss, though, especially because Yoko predicted Lax to win.
We must go against the Yoko predicts. That is our ultimate final boss. Uh, All right. SVOU, Dunox versus Kebab Milli Milli. Kind of figuring, I'm kind of wondering why Dunox was placed in OU again. Again?
Um, I don't
Dunox
think
has
he
been
was
doing really
placed there
well in this
prior.
summer seasonal.
Oh, this is the first
Like
time.
he's
Oh,
been doing good. He's done really well in SVOU recently. So and like Indo is like needs a break. So you kind of swapped around the places.
Oh, yeah, definitely Dunox needs a break. I mean, he's only on, like, won once, I think.
Yeah, like he needs to go to to the higher tiers, show his strength.
Yeah. But yeah, I think genuinely, like, Kebab's been doing all right. Kebab's been doing all right in OU. Generally doing pretty, generally doing pretty well for himself. Despite like a couple of matchups against hard matchups against him. Yeah, this I think this matchup could go either way, but yeah, this is gonna go for Kebab for me. I gotta go with the tried and true OU man.
yeah, obviously I would too. But did you know this game happened already?
Oh, I still would have said Kebab. There you go.
Who's gonna tell him?
Who's gonna tell him? No, don't. All right. Next up, SV Ubers, Mashing versus Layson. Kind of.
See, I think Layson or I think Layson wins this.
Of course, it's your team.
Yeah, there's no other reason why I think so.
What?
Who's gonna tell him?
Fuck, did this game happen? Ah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Layson will win, honestly. Like, comparing these two, I think Layson's had the better matchups. Mashing's been doing well for himself in Ubers, but Layson, this is Layson's tier. Nothing much else to say. Moving on. Next up, SVUU, Rasche versus TMM. Oh, that's
Hey,
hard.
Rashe, who do you think wins?
Okay, so TMM's like one of my close friends here. So unironically, like I'm like dreading this matchup because like he plays really well and like he knows how I play. So it's
Yeah.
super even.
TMM.
But yeah, I win. Okay.
Yeah, Rashe, like your performances have been good. Not no shit posting me side. Like I think you've done very well for yourself in BLT. Like you've had
Yeah,
good
I agree.
like you had good performances. You beat Sheba in the most unexpected of ways. But yeah, your plays have been genuinely very good. MM's a Filipino boy. and I and I have a soft spot for people who are Filipino in their bloods. Yeah, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna go TMM on this one.
Unfortunately, well, I think that's pretty fortunate for me.
Oh, we are having Roche as a special guest here, Poker. Show some courtesy at least.
Yeah, please vote against your team. Just this once.
My apologies.
uh, yeah, I gotta root for my homeboy here. TMM's been doing great in UU. Roche is not bad. Roche is not bad. Don't sleep on Roche. If he
He's not
wins,
bad at all.
if you win this shit, I will not be surprised. Like you've proven me otherwise. That you have an excellent in case against TMM. All right.
TMM ain't losing though.
Oof.
Well,
SVO.
we'll see.
Oh yeah. When do you play?
Probably sometime on the weekend.
All right.
Like, I've been very lazy with
Let me check
scheduling, but
scheduling channel. He didn't post a time. Never mind.
yeah,
Ah,
like we've only been communicating for a bit. he offered to right fucking now, and I didn't want to do that. So
I'm not surprised.
SVRU, Ender versus Arsenal. I believe this game already happened. I believe.
Let's pretend it didn't. Who do you think wins, Micoy?
In any normal case, I would go Arsenal. I mean, this if Danny was slotted here, I would have said that Danny would have been the one to basically stand up to Arsenal. In terms of the RU, if Danny was slotted here, I meant. But it's Ender, so Ender's been doing good, but it's just not at the level of Arse9. I would have predicted Arse9, but I know this game already happened, so and I already know who wins. So good job on the.
That's my line, Micoy. That's my line.
yeah, well, I mean, somehow I think Arc9 will lose this one, and Ender's the goat. So gonna go Ender.
God damn. All right, SVNU Acrotex versus Saba. This one, I'm actually quite looking forward to this one.
Well, cool, because it's happening tomorrow,
Oh goody!
I think.
Oh
Wait,
goody!
Friday, 10 p.m. plus. Okay, 2 days from now.
Oh goody!
Well, like a day and a half, actually.
This one's gonna be hard for me because both Saba's a goat and Acrotex has been doing very well for himself in NU. Like very, very well. Probably the best player other than Ziri in this pool, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go Acrotex. Like, unfortunately for Saba, despite Saba maybe could potentially eke out a win, I think the tried and true main has to win here and go for Acrotex.
That's a fair thing to say.
Next up, SVPU, Danny versus Ryuji. This would have been a highlight match had Ryuji not fallen off in recent weeks. I really hope Ryuji comes back to his crazy builds. Like, where was the insane crazy builds that he had in weeks 1 and 2 that he got a win of? I'm bring back that Ryuji. The current week's Ryuji has been a step below his former self. Let's be honest. Meanwhile, Danny is Danny. Like, there's nothing much else to say. Lower tiers goat. I think this is a safe bet. We're all going with Danny here on this one. Yeah.
Yeah, like aside from like an act of God of him just getting hacked like he did last week, like I don't see how Danny can lose.
Well, now that you said that, watch
Who's
Ryuji actually
gonna
active.
Yeah, I'm
Who's
active.
gonna tell? Are either of you aware that this happened?
Oh, did it already happen?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep the suspense.
Okay, it did happen though.
This is the last one
Who's
that's
gonna
actually
tell
happened,
me?
though. All the rest
How
haven't
many
happened.
freaking Phantom Trooper Stein bundles matches have happened before this recording? God damn.
3.
4.
Oh,
Four?
4. Yeah, 4.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Bab, Lassen, Ars9, and Ryuji all played already.
God damn, man. You just couldn't resist the no John's efforts, huh, bundles?
Yeah, ironically, ASIC did not know John.
Wow. SVLC, Ace Hunter versus London 13. I really wanted Skelly to be in this role, to be honest. Like, Ace Hunter versus Skelly would actually be kind of hype.
Sorry, Skelly's not here.
Unfortunate.
Skelly does not have internet, and he will not until Saturday. Ace Hunter cannot play after Thursday.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So they're gonna be playing in a couple of hours then, I would say.
No. It's more like,
next day?
About 19 hours ish.
Wow. Okay. I guess I could tune in there. Yeah. I think I'm going Ace Hunter. Ace Hunter's just been generally doing the better play. London has yet to impress me in Gen 9 in general. Not just doubles, not just LC, just in general.
He hasn't really played anything except two losing games in doubles, so I can understand that.
SVDOU. We got Akaru Kokoyo versus the Cheese and Cheese.
Gulp.
Yeah, Rasche, you got a goat in your side. You got a goat doubles main in your side, buddy.
Yeah, like Akara is just super reliable. Like I think they're like 4-2. Yeah, so
Four
like,
and two. That's like a
Let
winning
me look.
record.
Let me look. Yeah, 4-2.
Who did he only lose to?
yeah, and they're gonna soon be 5-2 because I'm pretty sure they take this one, but who knows?
Since
See
he asked me
tomorrow.
what he lost to Raph and Faye.
Interesting. Cheese is an anomaly. Like he beat Zern, which is great, but he also lost to uh who, who did he lose to?
Uh, he lost to Raph, Aragon. That's it, actually.
So he's what? 2-2? 1-2?
He's 2-2.
He's neutral. Actually a better
He's
record.
actually neutral. Yeah.
Better record than I would have thought. So both lost to Raph, huh?
It's because London took the fall for two of those.
Right. Yeah, as much as I want to go for cheese in one, and I really want to go for cheese in one, I have to pick Akaru here. Like Akaru is the tried and true doubles main, very reliable, very good player, very strong in this doubles meta.
I can't blame you for that. But maybe Cheese will surprise you.
Again, they surprise me again, cheese. Do what you did with Zern, and hopefully Akaru can play his
Seems to
best.
me like Cheese likes seems to me like Cheese is liking post-home doubles more than pre-home.
Yeah, I can't blame him. Doubles right now has been pretty well adjusted compared to pre-home.
Yeah, you just spring your Saluna and win.
No, not. That's why we're banning the fucker in doubles. All right, SV monotype, Mihawk versus Azik. Is this even a question? Sorry, Mihawk.
Nope,
Sorry, Mihawk.
it's not a question to me.
I really want to predict against you for betting man instincts, but now I just can't predict it. I just can't predict against the Azik. Like, what's his record right now? Five
The
and one.
Azik.
5-1.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
think it is.
5-1.
Help.
But that doesn't disturb me. Mihawk has definitely got this. Yeah.
Milk is not one to sleep at, but yeah, it's Azik. I can't predict against Azik. Sorry, Azik's to win.
I mean, this monotype, like we can literally win off matchup.
Watch as
It's
Mihawk
great.
like
No, every time Mihawk is like hyped up, I always see them lose.
like right now.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Alright, now you guys can now come back in because it's time to predict once again. Sunny Shore Star
Okay,
Axis versus Resort City Rufflets, the two champion teams. They're gonna face off in this
I'm
last
actually gonna bounce, but thank you guys for having me. Like, yeah,
Ah.
it's
Oh,
super late for me right now, but my predictions are still here. I think.
Well, it was
Yeah,
great having
they're in
you,
chat.
Rashe.
So
It was great having you on this
yeah,
podcast.
yeah, thanks for sticking it out as long as you did. I know it's almost 4
Sorry.
a.m. for you.
Yeah, sorry for 4
yeah,
a.m.
I'm very tired. Yeah, and if any of my predictions are wrong, it's because I did them tired. So please
Okay.
forgive me. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Hope he's gone.
And no, we're not saying bye to you guys watching. We're only saying bye to Rasche, who has to sleep. Um, so let's get to predicting Poker, shall we? First off,
Yes.
SVOU, we got Star Master versus Sylveon Use Calm Mind.
I.
Pretty hype. I'm pretty excited for this one. What do you got?
What do I got?
Who do you got?
I'm gonna say Star.
Okay, you're gonna go with the tried and true OU main. I think it's time to activate my betting man instincts. I'm gonna go Sylveon.
Oh.
I'm gonna go
I
Sylveon.
mean, to be fair, he's done really well. It's not that much of a bet.
I know, right? But against the Star Master, I'm predicting against the Star Master. Are you kidding me? Like, what's Star Master's record right now? Actually,
Good.
no,
I can say that much without
yeah,
checking.
yeah. Without checking, it's good.
What
I
team?
need numbers.
What team is he on?
Laxes.
Ah, he's 5-1.
Same record as Sylveon, 5-1.
Oh, that makes us even more hype.
That is very high. Probably one of the top OU matches without bias or anything like that. Yeah. Sylveon to win for me.
Yep. Wait, no, I said Star.
All right. SVOU JJ09 Lee is back against ACR1.
Hmm.
Curious matchup this one. JJ has been doing all right. ACR1 has been kind of a step above him, to be honest. think I'm gonna go with ACR1.
I was gonna say that too, actually.
I'm surprised you're not gonna go for JJ.
JJ is 1-3.
Ouch. And ACR1 is
Uh, team
Rufflets. Ruffians. Those ruffians.
Ruffian. Also, ACR1 has the inverse record of 3-1.
Yeah, I think the same. I think the inverse is still gonna happen. ACR1 to win.
Yep.
SV Ubers. Genius from Hoenn versus FC. Curb Stomp.
Wow.
Is this a curb stomp? It feels like a curb stomp.
Whether it's a curb stomp or not is not what we should be asking.
What?
In fact, we should not be asking anything. We should simply state the answer.
No. Is it a curb stomp in favor of FC or is it a curb stomp in favor of Genius from Hoenn? What is
That
the
is
true
not
curb
a
stomp?
question that should be asked.
I may be jinxing either of these players, but I don't care. I'm going FC.
Wait, hold up. Who did Yoko predict? Oh, FC.
Shit.
Hmm.
Who are you going with, Pokehard?
FC, obviously.
But if he loses, we blame Yoko.
Yes.
SVUU. We got Slip versus Udon Girl. Two UU players who haven't really done the best in their UU.
Two hyped up UU players who were very negative until like a week or a couple weeks ago.
Well, not for Udon Girl. Udon Girl's like winless before this.
Um, yeah, and Slip didn't get his first win till 2 weeks ago.
So week 5. So they're both 1-5, right?
I think so. No, I think Slip might be 1-4.
Ah. Who do you think,
Hold
Pokey?
on. Let me look.
Who do you think, Pokey?
Um, Udon Girl is 1-5, and looking at Lax's Slip is 1-4.
So who do you think, Pokey? Who do you think wins here?
Udon Girl, I just had a bowl of udon for dinner.
Ah. I'm gonna go on girl, but only slightly.
Oof.
But only I would not be surprised if Slip actually wins. SVRU Elfuson versus Plaz.
Oh, that seems high.
You two boomers are gonna go at it. Two LC players actually. Two LC players playing RU. Hilarious. I really don't know. I really don't know. Who are you going with, Pokey?
Uh, my first instinct was to say Plaz,
Hmm.
but like I'm not actually sure. Thinking a bit harder.
I think. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Elfuson on this one. I wasn't sure either, but I think Elfuson's just a tiny bit better. Only a tiny bit better. So, yeah, I think Elfuson would win.
Hold up. Let me look at what Rasche put.
What did he put?
He put Alphuzon.
Yeah, what do you think?
Okay, I guess I'll put Alphuzon.
Yeah, alright, we're all going Elfu on this one. If Yoko predicts Elfuson, then we blame Yoko.
Hold on. Let me look. He said Plaz.
Oh, you're jinxing Plaz now, Yoko. You're jinxing Plaz now. Jesus Christ. Alright.
Yeah,
SVNU.
we're probably not wrong then.
SVNU. Ziri versus Piyush. Kind of an interesting matchup, this one. Both players are pretty. Have been coming to their own in post home NU, and they've been actually doing pretty well.
It's not like Piyush is bad or anything, but is this a question?
Wow. Harsh. I'm gonna go with Ziri as well.
Hey, I clarified that's not like Piyush is bad anything.
You're harsh. I'm gonna go with Ziri.
Yeah, me too. Because it's just not a question.
Wow. Wow. The harshness on this woman. SVPU. Yes or no, my dude versus Tenebrasite. Now I ask.
100%.
Now I ask. Is this even a question?
I feel like it's more of a question than the previous one.
It's still, is this even a question? Like, yes or no, my dude's been alright, but Tenebrasite is goaded. So this is Tenebrasite's win for sure.
I agree, this is 10%'s win.
SVLC. Vinny the Winnie versus Hacker.
He did it against drifting. Can he do it against the hacker?
Level 1 player versus level 100 player.
Now watch as he just wins and Micoy flips like 10 tables.
No, actually, more like level 5 player because SVLC is level 5. Um,
But the why is hacker still level 100?
no, I said level 1 to level 5. It's LC. Okay, alright. Get with the times, people.
Oh. Oh, you meant hacker's level 5. Okay.
No, I meant level 5 is Vinny the Winnie.
Then why is hacker still level 100, huh?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, fine. We're gonna go hacker on this one.
Yes. Although, if any wins, what will you do?
I'm throwing a chair outside my balcony and then throwing myself into a pile of poop.
Don't do that. Choose something better.
Choose something better. Okay, I'm gonna cover myself in blankets for the rest of the day. Anyway,
That sounds actually fine. Do that.
fine. SVDOU.
Also, wait,
What?
Yoko predicted in favor of Hacker, so.
Corvinny's gonna win then. Um, SVDOU. SMB versus Aragon.
Oh.
This is kind of hype, but SMB is negative.
Somehow, yes.
He's like 2-3, right?
He's a lax, right? Yeah, he's 2-3.
Aragon
And
is.
Aragon is 5-0.
Whew! So it's not a betting man prediction. I'm gonna go with Aragon.
I never thought I'd ever see the day where I predicted against SME, and it may make me cry. But I will also say Aragon. I
Aww.
know. It's tragic. I never thought I would be able to say this.
SMB, do better. Do well here. Prove us wrong. What did Yoko predict?
You get a point. I don't think the answer is very clear cut, so we should see.
Please.
Oh wait, he predicted Aragon.
Shit. SMB is winning. Yay. I don't know. Maybe. I know we're kind of memeing on Yoko's
I'm
predictions
genuinely
before.
curious. If someone predicts the exact opposite of what Yoko predicts, how many would they get right?
I know, right? It's not that surprising either. All right, SV monotype. We got felines versus TDR. Is this even a question?
Felines.
Is this even a question?
Monotype is a question itself, Micoy. So yes, but like felines is the better player.
Yeah, I think felines is a better player as well. I think I'm going felines as well.
Yes, besides, felines are great. I love cats.
Not the movie though. Not the movie Cap. Please don't talk about that movie.
No, no, I'm talking about our fuzzy feline companions who purr and loaf and lay around on the floor all day just wanting to get pet.
And then they're gonna sing. They're gonna sing with their hind legs and just break dance all the time. Freaking Cats the movie.
No, stop.
All right. Anyway, last matchup before I break: the Primal Power Pangoros versus the Dressrosa Dracovicious. The Doflamingos, if you will. SV.
Nah, you gotta say the Dofies.
The Dofies. The Dofy Wolfies. SVOU. SVOU. We got 3D versus Clean.
I have not seen 3D play very much this tour, but I think 3D.
You're gonna go 3D. I think I'm gonna go Clean because Clean. I think he's the better player of the two. Honestly, like I think Clean has just got that edge that will carry him to the top. Like
Well, okay.
next up, we got SVOU. We got Hervalt versus Starreal. Herv's been doing great. In the few times he's performed, he's been doing great.
Yeah.
Starreal hasn't, which is surprising to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm going Herb.
Yeah, I'm also going Herb. Just think he's been performing better.
Yeah.
Been doing pretty well.
SV Ubers, Richard Milliplane versus Eincrad. So
I think Richard.
I'm thinking the Sword Art Online, man. I'm thinking Ainsgrad.
The what?
You know, because Aincrad is the setting of SAO, and then I'm just
Have you watched SAO?
no, I just know. No, I just don't know it through osmosis.
What?
All right. I'm going Ainsgrad, okay? I'm just going Aincrad. I think Ainsgrad has been doing
Who's
pretty
gonna
good for
tell him?
Frick. This
Who's
happened.
gonna tell him?
This happened. This is freaking happened.
Yes.
God damn it again! Alright, fine.
Also, you predicted Ainscrad, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
SVUU! A West Papillon versus RS. Or Sheba.
That's Sheba, right?
That is Sheba. That is Sheba. Who finally name changed.
What a stupid name change.
Wow. I think that RS is real Sheba, to be honest. I think I'm going Sheba.
But, but like, Sheba is just, it's a nice, simple name. Why would you change it?
Because he's now an RS. One letter away and he's getting tax fraud by the IRS.
What?
By the IRS.
Uh-oh. Uh,
Anyway, I think we're going with Sheba, aren't we?
yes.
Poor Wesh.
We're all predicting for whoever this RS fellow is.
Speaking of other two letter name people, MJ versus Just Franco and RU.
Wait. An actual good two-letter name.
Actual good lieutenant. But he's going up against Just Franco, who's a GOAT in RU.
Darn, he loses.
What? Are you predicting for MJ?
Wait, what?
Who are you predicting?
Did you not hear me when I said, but when you said, but he's against Franco, and I said, darn, he loses.
So you're predicting Franco, aren't you?
Well, you see, Micoy, Franco is, well, 6-0.
Best record? I want to say.
Well, let me just double check. You see, the best record on the Articunos is 5-1. The best record on the Fishes is 5-1, belonging to Ainscred, actually. The best record on Bundles is 5-1. The best record on Pandros is 6-0. The best record on the Rufflets is 5-0 and I guess 5-1. Dirges 5-1. Wait, hold on.
What?
There's another 6-0 player.
Which one?
Zeri.
Have them meet in the playoffs. Actually, no, because Zeri's a lax. Shoot. Um,
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't see Zeri making playoffs.
but he's gonna go 7-0, just like Franco is against MJ. I'm sorry, MJ. I really wanted to predict against for you, but yeah, I think Franco wins.
Yeah, Franco wasn't a player I had really heard of much before this. But Jesus Christ.
He's great. He's great in RU. Totally awesome.
Dude slaughtered the competition.
Hard. Hard. And he never faltered. Not even once. Go just Franco.
He got lucky he didn't play Arsenine, but still.
If I send some you can't play. You can't play. Just Franco versus Arsenine is not gonna happen. Crap. Um oh well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Oh well. SVNU. We got N Helio versus Sword Strike. What?
Uh And yeah.
Yeah. And Helio's generally been doing well for himself. Sword Strike, interesting that you slot him in NU again. But no, and this is in Helio's turf.
See, he's not actually just been doing well. It would seem to me he is undefeated.
Undefeated? He's 5-0?
He's 4-0.
He's still an O. Oh my god. And Helio's golden. Anyway,
Yep.
next. Next.
So I think he's gonna end the. So wait, no. Kangaroos are going to playoffs, so I can't say he'll end undefeated just yet.
Ooh. We'll have to wait and see when we actually get to playoffs. Well then, alright. Next up, we got Medaya versus Dugza.
Interesting. I'm inclined to actually predict for Doug's for once.
Ooh. Really? I thought you would go hard on Medaya.
Nah, Doug's been picking up the pace lately.
Thank God, and thank God he did because he's been doing great. So I'm also in agreement. I'm gonna go for Dougie Wuggy as well.
Why did you say that?
Because it's funny to say
You you
that. Sorry,
sound
Dugza.
cringe, me.
Sorry, Dugza. I like you. You're a bro. Uh, all right. SVLC drifting versus Loki fan. This is an
I
interesting
can
matchup.
never really bring.
Hmm? What you said?
I was gonna say I can never really bring myself to predict in favor of Loki fan.
Ouch. You're gonna go for drifting.
I'm struggling a little. Not gonna lie.
Well,
I don't really know. What do you think?
I'm gonna go actually for Loki fan because drifting, I feel like has been drifting apart from LC a little bit. Like he's been not really doing the best that he could possibly do. I haven't seen peak drifting yet, so I think I'm gonna go Loki fan.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'll still go drifting.
Okay, okay, agree to disagree. SVDOU, Raph versus Zern, highlight.
An ultimate match.
Yep, penultimate match. And between three good doubles, 3-letter names.
If you have three letters in your name and you're playing doubles, odds are you're pretty good.
Yeah. So
Like
I
Tile,
Tayo,
SMB,
Faye,
Raph, Zern.
Faye or Fayette, Faye, whatever.
I'm pretty sure Faye uses two Y's, so that doesn't count.
Ouch. Tayo, SMB, Rap, Zern, yes. So who do you think, woman?
Uh, who do you think?
I'm going Zern. I just have that Zern is seemingly my safety blanket for DOU because Zern's been doing awesome. Rap's been doing good too, but Zern.
You say Zern's been doing awesome, but he's 2-4.
I don't care if he has a bad record. Zern is good.
Raph is 4-1.
Well, who are you predicting then, woman?
Raph.
Okay. And finally, SV Monotype, Spitfire Arcanine versus the Gaming Attack.
The the is that actually what it
Yes,
stands for?
yes. It's on freaking tours. He uses that name.
Ah.
Or no, that's his former Smogon name. What am I saying?
Hmm. This is a battle between two Indian players, by the way.
Yeah. Who can Indian mono the better?
Spitfire.
There's no question that Spitfire Arcanine will win this one. Unless he chokes, which is bound to happen.
So who are you saying wins then?
Spitfire, no.
And yet you just said he's bound to choke?
Well, knowing Spitfire, he'll probably will. Anyway, that's the end of BLT Predicts. Thank you once again to Rasche for participating. I hope Spitfire doesn't choke. I hope he actually plays well. But that's the end of our video. Please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Click that notification bell so you wouldn't miss a video once they come out. See you next week, because next week is playoff season, boys.
So whoever wants to be a guest, it's probably the best time to hop on the train because it's gonna be a relatively shorter video because
Yeah.
we're only gonna predict about half the matches as usual.
And we're gonna talk about half the matches that we're usually used to. So you're not gonna sit here and watch 40
Oh
games.
no, we're actually not going to talk about half the matches. We're still talking about 40 games here.
Because it's a combined thing. I get it. Anyway, thank you all so much.
No, because we'd be reviewing week 7,
Oh,
which
that's
is
true.
full roster.
Well, we have one 3-hour video to go, and then it's playoffs. Okay? Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
all so much for watching. Oh, I already said my outro. Frick. Oh, this is Micoy signing out. Bye.
So long.